the Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
And so the Bears are sending their compensatory fourth-round pick to Jacksonville for Nick Foles.
You know what? It was an overthrow by Mitch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Injured Bear on the field is Akeem Hicks.
Cousins loses the football. Strip sack and a takeaway.
Bears our life.
Who else but Khalil Mack?
Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Yo. Bears our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Ran up with the true analysis you expect. Raw passion for the show. Bear fans get nothing less. Locked in with real emotion and passion for every play. Coach Phil gonna bring that range, but in with facts my shade. Post game show like nothing else you're gonna hear. Some can try to copy, but a bucket's not sincere. Delivering the truth on what just happened to be clear. That's why we're on TV so you can see it, not just hear. Hey, yo, with Draft Dr. Phil, you know it's always hit sticks. Splitting double T's like 96 Akeem Hicks. You can tell the shit matters. The Bear love can be felt. Critical of Nagy cause the talent he's been dealt. Cause our life keeps growing. Shane's all knowing. Delivering the truth on how the QB's throwing. Dimes on time or just lacking fundamental. Whatever the case, we get hot like Cecil. Fiery discussion about what happened in the game. This ain't your daddy's postgame, no expect the fucking flame. Not for the average fan, a loss they can't survive.
But don't you worry.
Bears Hour Live.
Bears our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with their boys draft talk and the smartest man alive.
The Red Legend.
Bears our life.
Dr. Phil
Bears our life. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talk and the smartest man alive. Bears our life. Bears our life. Bears our life. We go on live right after
The Tape Never Lies Network.
This is Bears Hour Live.
What's up, Bears fans? Same old with this team. We see it. We talked about it at halftime. Not much changed. Don't, get excited about the garbage time. That's something that happens in the NFL every single week. This team is headed down a path that's, I don't think that they're going to recover from. Quite honestly, this is NFL mediocrity is the worst place to be. You either have to be horrific and draft up top or be really good and contend for the Super Bowl, and the Bears are right there in the middle. The defense is good enough to keep you in games each and every week. This offense, we talked to Olin Kreutz about it. We talked to some other players about it. This offense is on the level of Terry Shea, and I understand they're without people, but even with their starting offensive line, you had a chance to make some sort of a move to try to rectify the situation. If it means you're overpaying a little, you have to do something. At one point, you were 5-1 on this team. It's a sad day here as a Bears fan. I mean, I took my Bears jersey off the wall. They don't deserve fandom from us. We're still going to keep it covered, get you guys everything that you need from us here at the Tape Never Lies Network each and every week, each and every game. But it's bad. There's no other way to say it. We already know how this coach is going to come out and talk. Got to review the tape. We know what we have to fix, but we're not ready. We have to sit down and review the tape and get things fixed. That's the part that pisses you off. It's repeat. And now you see the Chicago media guys like Danny Parkins coming out and none of this isn't on Nagy. The Bears Twitter sees Anthony Miller fumble the football, so that's Nagy's fault. No, Danny, that's not the way that it is. Bears fans are smarter than you. Yeah, there's some meatheads out there, but the people watching this show are way more well informed, and we know what we're talking about. So enough with this shitty opening rant by me. let's turn it over to Draft Dr. Phil, and everybody buckle up because I'm sure it's going to be heated.
Thanks, Shane. I mean, what could you say that hasn't been said? Those of you who have supported us here at this network understand the expectation that comes along with what I'm about to say. You signed up for Patreon. You saw me at halftime and how fired up I am, because you have to be maniacal in the game of football. And Shane references Danny Parkins and showed me the text, or tweet rather. It just showcases how uninformed, how misunderstood the game of football is. The only thing Danny unfortunately got right was that the importance of a head coach in football is more important than anybody thinks. So let me just say this truthfully. The reality of the situation is you have a shoe salesman, as I've said many times, formulating a game plan for your offense. An offense down, offensive lineman that stunk already, a scheme, a philosophy that has no philosophy already, and now the true Matt Nagy, when it's time to out-scheme opponents, when it's time to make significant change in your philosophy to help your team, when you're 5-1, you can't do it. And when the troubles come with COVID and it's time to make it stupider, dumb it down, you can't do it. You still want to be the smartest fucking coach talked about by the media. The same media that has a gag order against them to ask you the motherfucking tough questions. The ones that the guys that love this game, that understand this game, want to hear. You're a fraud. You're a phony. You're a fake. I can out-coach you any day of the week. It's reality, Danny Parkins and every other fucking scumbag blog fuck. It's football at its basics. It's blocking. It's tackling. It's holding everybody accountable, no matter what their draft status is, no matter what their paycheck is, no matter what they say to you about you. You have former players calling you a fucking all-Madden rookie-level fuckface, arena league, real estate motherfucking coach that doesn't know shit. You got hired here on a fucking old boys network, and that's what it is. And they can't admit their faults. This guy should be fired this week, tomorrow. Chuck Pagano, you are our head coach. He can't do the little things in pride to say, I'm going to let go of my pride and allow somebody else to call plays because I'm too busy, Shane, coloring. I'm coloring. There's 20 shots in this game. A game, by the way, that's 10-0. And you're there on 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. And you don't, on 4th and 1, and you don't kick the field goal? You run the same gimmicks that you ran last week. You're so predictable. Get off the offset eye. You're going to run the belly play. Everybody knew it. You're going to give it to David Montgomery because you don't do anything different. You don't out-scheme yourself. You're supposed to press that and make it the foundation of what you do so you can do gimmicks and tricks off of it. But you're so ready to promote and say, well, that's a good football team over there. Guess what? They're all fucking good football teams in the NFL. You're the biggest fucking conundrum. You're the doldrums of coaching. You are the stupidity of neglect when it comes to understanding the right personnel. You couldn't get Riley Ridley on the field because you can't let go of your pride. And your pride sucks. Go take that and return it like a fucking empty Coke can. Get the 5-cent deposit back from this coach and this GM and all of these fucking worrywarts saying, what about the money, the houses and the mechanic? They don't do that. Well, it's time to do something different. When you see a jokester, when you see a fraud, call it out. Make a change and do something different. Because right now, what we see with Coach Nagy is neglect. It's neglect. It's football neglect. And really, ultimately, when you look at this game that could have easily been won, those are two teams that are so similar. Good defense, terrible offense, and it's who's going to make the most mistakes. So when you lead the league in penalties, and when you lead the league in stupidity, and when you lead the league in pressures, and by the way, 46 passes when you know you got a bad offensive line, that's on the coach. Anybody could say anything different, but you fans here know in a loss, it's on the coach. Because if you went out there and said, we are going to do 5 plays, we are going to attack these guys, and I need everything out of every one of you. You're getting a paycheck, but you're playing for this team. You're playing for the fans. You're playing for us. And if that really was the be together mentality, then you would win. But because your BU philosophy has overflowed to the level with which you control what the media can ask you, because you're too much of a fucking coward, then you've lost the locker room. I don't care how good you are in the locker room, because at the end of the day, it's what happens on the fucking football field that matters. No one liked Mike Ditka. No one liked Lombardi. His players hated him at first. But when they played and they won, they learned to understand that the coach is going to be hard on me. It's called tough fucking love. Because at the end of the day, he is the one responsible to make me a better player and a better person and a better human being and a better teammate. And right now, we got a bunch of BUs out there loafing, shitting down their fucking leg, pussies that are false start, completely inappropriate penalties, stupidity everywhere. It's disgusting, and it all lies on the feet of the head coach. Because as you know, Shane, the team is a reflection of the head coach. And that is my rant.
It's a good one, Phil. It's a sad day here because, like I said, we everybody listening, us along with it. I mean, you can say that you have control of the locker room. You feel at some point this is going to be brewing, and there's going to be issues because you cannot. You know, Danny Parkins saying that this isn't a coaching issue. No, it 100% is a coaching issue. When you talk about Charles Leno, when you talk about Rashad Coward, when they continue to make mistakes over and over and over again, week after week after week, you as the head coach aren't doing your job by fixing the problem. So I know, I think Nagy is coming up. Claudio, I don't know, just want to make sure you have that ready to roll, because we got to see if the media is going to hold this guy, hold his feet to the fire and ask questions. And come on, what are we doing here? I sent out a tweet and I said, I think that the biggest, hardest hitting question today is going to be, oh, Coach, how did you feel on the Montgomery fumble? Something crazy like that. And I just don't understand how it got to this point, Phil, there's talent here. There's talent here. That's the problem. I understand. Here he is. Here's the head coach.
Wizard of Oz.
Unfortunately, last year we were in this mode and we lost 4 in a row, and it's hard. It is hard. But we have to make it bigger, Claudio. Rally around each other, and we got to stick together as hard as it is. And
I don't know. Is he in the fucking? Is he with the candle?
When you're sitting,
for God's sake, you can't even see his ass. There he is.
It hurts. But now
he asked the camera to be lower so he looks
whatever those
smarter.
Issues are, we just at some point in time get this thing back on track, and that's my job as a head coach to do that. And trust me, I'm going to look at everything.
Yeah, thanks.
JJ, you haven't looked at the fucking playbook.
Matt, you mentioned the penalties, but on your first 6 drives, you didn't have any penalties, and you still didn't wind up scoring any points. Do you feel like there are answers in the playbook in the roster that you have right now to fix this?
Yeah, I do, and you know, it's when that's a good thing. And I did feel early on that you know, we had a couple of those drives where it wasn't so much the penalties on the front end, JJ. It was more of the 3 and outs. You know, we weren't getting first downs, and that's what felt like it on the front end. And then, you know, you get to a point there at the end of the half where you get a couple completions, and then you're just going backwards instead of going forward. You know, and when you have that, and then the rest of the game, there's just some stuff that went on. That
you're so fucking full of shit.
We're not in a position right now offensively to make things hard. That's just
I suck.
Fact.
He's never said it.
We need to do everything we can to stay ahead of the sticks so that we can play football and you know, get the run game going and get the quick game going.
Playbook.
And when you pick and choose to take a shot, you got to protect so that you can hit that shot. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how this
politics for the fucking presidential election, bro.
Matt, you guys converted the fake
fucking
punt.
Pussy.
What required the timeout immediately
Oh,
after?
we're talking about a fucking face.
Yeah, we were just we had, you know, when you have a change of possession like that, there's a communication, just making sure guys are on the special teams and the wide receivers that are coming in and out. And we had a play where we had a
that's the problem. You got too many plays, you jackass.
I wanted to make sure that we were perfect. I didn't want to do what happened last week where we had a 5-yard.
Well, you did it anyway, buddy.
You know, so that happens. That probably happens across the league more than you think. And right now it's just, you know, it's a little magnified just because of, you know, our situation.
And then also, you guys have struggled in short yardage when you need a yard or less sometimes. What is your emotions with that, and just not being able to pick it up 2 feet that time?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've
sure,
I think we've been better of late, and then it's the ones that you don't get, you
looking
know,
over his
especially
shoulder.
the fourth
They're gonna
down.
comply
Those
with
are the
me.
ones that I think magnify, and they sting because we really felt like we had some good momentum going there.
You're not maniacal.
I got to go back and watch
face
that play.
the fuck out of the playbook.
I think our
guy, start being in the game.
It's a dive.
That's what a coach does.
What we do in youth football. It's a
dive.
So
yeah, you ran it last week, you dick.
That's that.
We have time for 2 more. Jeff Dickerson.
Yeah. Only 1 more. How about that?
2 more.
Two more. It should be a fucking hour.
That 1 4th down, where you guys had 2 consecutive penalties. I mean, you had
JV coach.
False start, and then
seriously.
the hands to the
That's
face.
so in overtime.
I mean, just how demoralizing is that to get these consecutive?
It's demoralizing, JD. We fucking get it, dummy. Ask a better question.
And I think
it's the same thing.
JJ, like to your last question for me.
Tom
like
Thayer just mentioned me on the fucking post-game show, Shane. Look at that.
Magnified a little bit.
Blowing up
when you have
because we keep it 100 here.
Situation, and
thank you.
You got momentum going. You got a lot of things
pull that
going,
audio.
and then you have that happen, and so I'll never ever question my guys' effort. Never. I'll never do that.
I'm going to question you. They're all questioning you.
It's got to stop, and those are ones there that we just got to get better at because. We just
do.
What are you got to get
asking that question for?
Little chunks here or there, and then pick and choose when we go ahead and take our shots.
Matt, you threw the ball 47
where we
times.
Did get backed up, and Nick made a strong throw, and we made a good catch on the dagger route. There were some plays in there where we did recover. I would like to see us be better in that big red zone area when you get down there to be able to get an opportunity to score, and we weren't today.
He's the worst coach I've ever
frustrating
seen.
Part of it all.
Today was the worst
that right there.
Coached football game.
Worse
than Terry
Berman.
Shea. Don't say last one, you pussy.
Now, when you're grasping for anything positive, do you look? Are you glad that you guys score late? Did you make it a close game, or is that in your mind?
This guy's hype reminds me of Claudio.
Probably both. I'd say I do
52
think
passes.
You have a position where our guys fought to the very end, and that's kind of who the guys are that we have in this locker room. They kill.
Oh my God.
High. That's why I'll never ever question their effort.
How about we question you?
But what we have to understand as a mature football team is that you have to score points early in this league, and then you also have to score points early in this league with the defense.
How about just score points whenever you can?
Dummy. You just get to a point where you have those touchdowns at the end. You're happy that
you didn't look like a fucking NFL team.
Thanks,
Coach. You're the offensive guru. Come back, Coach. You're the offensive guru, the self-proclaimed offensive genius. You know what you are? You're a baffling, moronic idiot who's been given a job based on somebody saying, hey, this guy's really good. He said all the right things in the interview. Every one of you knows somebody at your job, whatever you do, that shouldn't be doing the job that they done, but somehow they got hired. I know everyone, every person that's
We listened to him. We listened to all of those people ask questions in these press conferences, Phil. That's who we're talking about. I mean, what question alluded to anything about holding the head coach accountable for anything today? No, instead you get Jeff Dickerson. I know Jeff's had a tough couple of years, and that's not what this is about. But I'm saying, what do you think? Of course, it's demoralizing. You're asking a question that you already know the answer to.
Exactly.
Makes no sense.
Listen, I've been around football my whole life. You're going to have some fucking petty pity party of fucking whatever. Just fill it in with whatever network. I don't give it. They all get all pussy-ish if I mention a name. So you guys, you great fans of our network, fill in whatever. Bloggers, writers, network. They're going to pity party this. Well, he's dealing with so many injuries. You know what? That's what the NFL is. That's what shows the brightest coaching stars, because they scheme and understand the matchups. And if you can't fucking do it, you go up to your GM and you tell him, you got to get me a fucking center here. You got to get me a tackle here. You got to do something that we haven't done before, and that's called find your identity under this guy. He doesn't have one. So now, as a GM, as the president of this organization, you can't hide behind this record. It's catching up. I told you, I could see this team. They're going to just fucking lose. And when that ball starts rolling because of the fucking, he's good in the locker room, that same pity party for this guy. Oh, he's really good. That ain't coaching. That isn't coaching. I know 100 coaches that are really good guys. Players love them. Do they play hard for him? He's trying to sell. They never gave up. Yeah, they did. They fucking folded like a fucking Boy Scout tent. They folded because of you. Because you decided, hey, we're going to go for it here on 4th and 1. It's 10-0. It could be 10. It could be a one-score game. Momentum in football is psychological. Kick the field goal, 10-3. Now you're in this game. But instead, you go for it. You get stuffed. You're fumbling. You're offsides. You're fucking fat Leno fucking bullshit. Cross his face. The usher. 7 o'clock. I wish we had the drop. He's fucking still doing it. He's supposed to be the leader of the line. He's still doing it. They're false start in key situations. At what point is it on Matt Nagy? Fans, go ask Danny Parkins. Please, come on, keep it 100 this week. Let's go back and forth and talk football, because I know your MLS and your fucking baseball, the Brewers, and all that other Kansas City fucking bullshit. I don't give a shit where anybody comes from, where their coaching tree is. What's the most important thing? My father came on this show and he said it tremendously. It's about accountability. There's none. There's no accountability. There's none. They don't go on the goal line and run their fucking plays. This is us. What they do is this. Where is it? Hold on. This is him. The whole game. The whole game, Shane. Look at me. Look.
Yeah, he's buried behind it.
He has no involvement.
Phil, we talked about it on the halftime show a little bit. You call the fake to Mingo, and you're not even prepared with your call, and you have to blow a timeout there on the very next play. And that
we didn't want to get a penalty there.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy is the biggest fraud. Every week I break down the tape on this guy. And every week I come away with the same thing. They're not holding anybody accountable. And what does that mean to someone who's never played the game? Excuse me. What that means is if we're running film work in front of the whole team and we see that we're running outside zone and the left tackle's got to cut off and get in front of his face, but no, he took a play off. We just skip over that. We're just focused on the front side. No, everybody's held accountable. This is why the play didn't work. This is why. Look at you, 72. Look at you, 69. What foot are you stepping with? Is that how we're teaching it, Coach? Is that how we're teaching it? That's throwing everybody under the bus.
Phil, how is
on the job?
How is Coward cannot be? They can't start this kid anymore.
Oh my God!
I mean,
I can't wait to watch. This is unfair to that kid too because you're just.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but it's just.
It's like that fucking lunch line. You're just throwing shit on the plate. It's just like. Let's put him at right tackle. Let's play him left guard. Let's play him right. Olin said it. You've said it for years. Kyle Long, do we have his tweet calling out the fucking coach? He's calling out the coach. Everybody's calling out the coach that has one semblance of IQ of football knowledge, not these fucking, what you said, these guys that want to get clicks. I don't want no fucking click. Don't follow me. You don't like me talking over the coach? Go watch another fucking show. This is the reality. This matters to me. This matters to Shane. This matters to all of our fans. You think you want to come watch a show that doesn't give a fuck? Go watch some fucking four fucking dummies wearing shades. Go watch that show. That's fun. That's real fun. I don't know. I've never asked a reporter a football question in my life unless it was rhetorical, because I have the answer. I don't need anybody to tell me what's wrong with this coach, this team. I'll tell you. Bring anybody on this show, Shane. Anybody. I don't give a fuck. That's Phil, why we have a problem here.
Exactly. We're not scared to ask the questions. I mean,
oh my God.
I know JJ is going to be coming on with us, not today, but JJ has admitted it. Dion Miller on Greg's show, you spoke to that, admitted it. They're scared because of blowback from the franchise. And if this franchise...
And McCaskey and the media. This is the same media that threw me out of New England, Shane, because I asked Cutler the hard question about football, and they used the fact that I was wearing a Bears hat and I was working for USA Today. That's why they threw me out, because I asked a tough question and I went over to Jay Cutler to wish him luck, and they wanted me out of there so badly because this team is run by these people that we said. They don't care. All they want is their money on the first of the month or whenever they get paid. The whole family comes. They drive up through like the fucking Simpsons in their fucking Volkswagens and Mercedes and Bentleys and whatever they drive, and they wait and their hands out. And that's the reality of what this franchise is, because Ted Phillips is calling the shots. Ted Phillips, who doesn't know a goddamn thing about football, is running the show, hiring Ryan Pace, hiring Ernie Accorsi, who, by the way, is the biggest shoe salesman this side of fucking San Francisco. He should have no say in who's going to run your organization. But this is a charter franchise. Blood, sweat, blue, white, and orange tears of the fucking grandfather who saw the vision of pro football and then said, this is what we're going to be, the Chicago Bears. And since he's gone, this team doesn't know their ass from their fucking elbow when it comes to hiring football people. We've said it before. We had the great Doug Plank on here saying the fucking same thing about this front office. We've had Greg Gabriel talking about the front office. You had Ballard, who's now the GM of the fucking Colts, who play their asses off every week. Is he questioning? Or you think Frank Reich is going up to the media? Yeah, we got a lot of injuries, and yeah, I'm going to throw 52 times, and yeah, that's a good team over there. You're not getting that there. We're getting that here because they say, you know what? Big F you to the fans. Big F you to season ticket holders. Big F you to the people that are across the pond and everywhere around the world that love this team. Big F you to you, because you're still going to be blinded in love with this team, and we're going to get that money every time. And that's really where it is. Until you start making changes. I don't give a get any fucking nerd. Bring cars the fuck on here, and I'll tell him the same thing. You fire this motherfucker this week. I don't care where it sets your franchise, because he's not a head coach. He's a locker room fanboy whose play calls are like a fucking X-rated Madden game. It's like it's got extended plays. They're real tricky. Now ask Madden. That's him.
Yeah, that's what Long tweeted out. Yeah.
It's the reality. I've been saying it. It's like that drop from our buddy Aaron Curran. Just throw something at the wall. Let's see what sticks this week. This is the week where let me say this real quick. This is the week where you identify yourself as the head coach of this franchise. Fuck this dude. What's his name? Parkinson. This is the reality.
Parkins.
Danny Parkins. Danny, you have no fucking clue about football. It's about scheming and fundamentals and philosophy and accountability. This is the week with all the injuries that you dumb it down and really set the tone of who you are and find your identity. Instead, you're playing the Arena League. You're fucking throwing the ball around the fucking yard and you can't even block. There's mistakes on every single play. It's almost like I'm disgusted that I gotta.
But Phil, what does it say about on this team to the point where we are, where Matt Nagy's answer was to focus the offense around a special teams player in Patterson? That was the game plan going in.
You're right.
Was to
do that. You probably texted me. I was so disturbed. I'm like, this motherfucker is game. You're taking your kick returner and making him the fucking nucleus of what you want to do offensively. Are you fucking kidding me? You ain't getting that shit nowhere. No. Do you think Bill Belichick is formulating the whole offense around their fucking kick returner? Even Lovie Smith, God bless him, he wasn't stupid enough to say we got to do everything around Devin. Devin Hester's going to be. He knew this guy doesn't know anything. And
to that point, Phil, I sent out a tweet. This is a wet dream for Matt Nagy because RB1 David Montgomery is injured, and I see Bears PR. I thought it was kind of a little skeptical of what they tweeted out, saying that he's being checked for a concussion. I mean, if you saw him walking off the field, you can't tell me that he didn't pop his shoulder out. The way that he was, the way.
So too.
Yeah, exactly. The way that
stinger, at least a stinger.
Yeah,
but then they showed the replay. I was like, oh, he did take a fucking shot.
He did. But I think you'll probably see, and you know how it is with shoulder injuries. We saw it creep up with Mitch. That's going to be more of an issue tonight and tomorrow morning than it is right now. Once with the adrenaline flowing and all of that, but. Phil, go back to a play. The one thing, you know how I am, I write down on my little notepad things that I think we should talk about maybe during the show or whatever, or things that stick out to me.
Can you send Greg the invite?
Yeah.
Totally forgot. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my God. I just want to make sure he's probably fucking. This dude traveled by himself all the way down to Tennessee to see this shit. Imagine if I fucking paid a dime to see that shit.
But Phil, let me
hear your question again.
Speak on the 2nd and 16 draw play to David Montgomery in the first half. I mean, that's when I knew that we were in for a long day and there wasn't going to be a recovery.
When a team relies on gimmicks to try to trick people, it's like the screenplay when David fumbled. That play should be called on 2nd down, and you got something. It's so predictably predictable that it becomes shut down and a fumble occurs. When you rely on gimmicks, now the 3rd down or the 2nd down and long draw play, you don't have anything blocked up right. So therefore, you're trying to do something to like catch a little crease and hit it up in there. It's guesswork. It's like what's even worse than that play is the action after the action.
Yeah, you're gonna trick them now. They're gonna fall for it.
It's like all right. On 1st down, if you remember the series, it was an action boot, and they hit Jimmy Graham, and then Jimmy got 6 or 7 yards, or he got a 1st down. And then first down, they're going to go back to the same action. Like you haven't even established that you're running the ball yet you went there and did that. And yes, Solo, versus probably one of the worst defenses you're face. Claudio and I are sitting in here, and he's like, well, their team, they got a good schedule. You know, they play the Vikings, they play this. But I go, they're the easy team on the schedule.
Real quick, Steve, I have no idea the screen is small. So maximize the screen on your end. I don't control that. I don't know what you're talking about. You keep on. I'm not controlling your computer, bro.
Maybe the screen call was small-minded, but that's the only thing I get. I don't know how I've ever felt like. I'm trying to think. With Trestman, I felt like we are being out fucking coached, out schemed, out toughed. Listen, this team is worse. I'm not kidding you. The garbage points at the end are going to hide some bullshit, but the reality is we are worse than we were with Mark Trestman, and that's really the reality because you're hanging your hat on a defense. Think about this. Your defense is really good. Think about they held up, there was stuff in them, they're keeping you in the game, and you can't do anything offensively. You showed me who you are, Matt Nagy, when you decided that you're going to go out and empty sets and you're going to try to beat this team by throwing the football because you've said we can't run the ball. We didn't have enough practice this week. These guys are just thrown out there into the fire. And you really go down in flames when you're totally unprepared. This is worse than the 90s Bears era stuff, Kyle. This is the worst I've ever seen this football team, A, be prepared, B, be motivated offensively, and C, it all goes back to the head coach, the penalties, situational football. Fucking John Fox was better prepared. You got to be honest, Shane. You got to be honest.
Yeah,
the reality is
Greg just texted me back. He's going to be about 10 to 12 minutes. He's just walking to his car right now.
I just want to make sure he had that and we'll bring him on. And we go back to Greg. You know, he had Dion Miller on his show, and I was watching it, and she admitted, we kind of don't, and we can't really ask him the tough questions. And then she's answering and telling you the truth of what we're saying, and without being able to confront that to the coach. Are you really doing your job appropriately? That's the question. Now, I'll bring her on and ask her that question. I have no qualm. I told Greg straight to his face, you should have pushed back there and say, is that really fair to this fan base that you are going to hold back the fucking real truth because they're asking you not to? They're asking you to not question this guy because he is a big, giant piece of trash. And I wanted to say something else, but I've used the P word so many times today.
So,
Christ.
Steve's got another. Listen, we don't control your picture size, guys. So, Steve and everybody I have no idea who else is complaining about it. I've seen Steve 3 or 4 times mention it. That's not something that we control. So maximize the screen on your end. Maybe let everybody know that's complaining about that. I have no idea. We don't control your screen size. We've done nothing different.
I don't know. Maybe somebody else can say, I think he's trolling. There you go. So don't even answer Steve.
No. Well,
Steve's fumbling on the goal line. I think someone's sending Claudio the audio of Tom Thayer. If you got it or you grab it, Ace, somebody, throw it over to Claudio, DM it to him, and maybe we can get it up onto the show with Tom Thayer shouting out our network for keeping it 100 and calling this stuff out. It's really gotten to the point where it's a Nagy catastrophe. I don't know how else. When you saw this guy pulling back the curtain, I didn't come here to run the I formation. Those types of arrogant showcases from somebody who's considered the head man. He's fighting back to see what works. Like if something works, but the draft Dr. Phil mind is like, let's fucking go until you motherfuckers stop us.
Right.
That's how a great coach works. This guy is so lost. I've been saying this to the heavens. The fucking heavens. Why? Why us? Why are we having these fucking politicians, these political pretty white boys fucking decide who's running this organization? Bring someone here that loves the game of football and hates fucking politics, that hates it, that doesn't see race, that doesn't see and talks the tough talk. I'm not afraid. I don't give a fuck who you voted for. Are you a good person? That's what I want to know. I don't care about politics. There's no place for it here. There's no big thought. There's no big picture. Ryan Pace is a fucking phony. You can't go on stage and say you need to draft a quarterback every year. It's the most important position. He's got great get off. We need better tackle play. We need a center. We need this. And you never do it. You never do it. And you hide behind a great trade. And you hide behind a replacement free agency. Of course, Ryan Pace's fault. Of course it is. He's the one that made this shit. Every GM, go down the whole fucking list. There's good moves by every one of them. There's only one move that matters. Who you got at quarterback? Who's your head coach? He's done shit job at the quarterback as the head coach. That's it. John Fox was the wrong guy. He got pressured in by the McCaskies, Ted Phillips, and Ernie fucking Accorsi. Those are the people running your life. They're running your team. So then he gets another shot, and he did the same shit. He went to the good old boys network. That's what we call it. My Uncle Sam talks about it all the time. You can't handle that truth? Go to another fucking network because it's the truth. It's who you know, and hey, this guy's really good. He's really smart. He used to be a real estate agent. His story's really great, and he's great. So let's hear him. He fucking fucked you over in the playoffs. He forgets that he's got Kareem Hunt, but let's forget about that little fucking hiccup because he's going to be great. He's going to be the face. He's a young guy, and he's going to be the face, and he's going to say all the right things. And guess what? He's an offensive genius. You throw around that fucking term all the time. Bring Ryan Pace on here. I'll tell him right to his face. You are never going to win until you find someone that says, football first. I'm going to get it done. When I see a situation where our offense is going to be outmatched, there's no way I'm continuously going to go to that game plan. We are changing everything up. I'll be up all night with them, and they'll be responsible to know their assignments. We'll go over it and over. That's what Olin was saying the other day, Shane.
Right. I know.
That simple little twist game, guess what? It happened 3 times today. Three times.
Well, Phil,
Leno's getting beat across his face.
We mentioned it at halftime 4 weeks ago. Nagy, it's on me. Cole's got to play more. That's on me. That's on us. You know how many targets he had today? Zero. Zero.
I need something to make me laugh. I need something. My heart is
well.
heavy.
Let's go.
B shoe.
B shoe.
B shoe. That's where he's at, folks. That's what you are, Coach Nagy. When you're watching this on the plane, yes, I said it. That's what you do. You're a shoe salesman selling every bit of phoniness to this fan base. Go ahead, Shane. What were you going to say?
Well, if you want to talk about a little bit of positivity, we're talking about a young player that's bringing a lot to the table. He was drafted very, very high, and we're seeing him stack together. Roquan Smith is playing at a different level. I mean, I got to give his running mate some love today, too.
He played his ass off.
When I saw him in coverage, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, my God. But he made a hell of a play on it. But Roquan Smith, Phil, he's really playing at an all-pro level. I mean, he is closing things down. You're seeing that burst. You saw him get set on a blitz today, which we need. We need to see more of it.
Wait,
but
we can't, Shane.
Yeah,
because of your great question with Olin Kreutz, he said it as well. And if you haven't seen that interview, I'm telling you right now, everything Phil, Shane, and Olin talked about showed up today.
It did.
Everything we said that couldn't happen or shouldn't happen did. So go over to our YouTube channel, check out that show. Just watch the hour-long interview, and you'll see Matt Nagy get lambasted with truth. And he talked about Roquan and Pagano having to be a little bit conservative for fear that
there's no little bit about it. It's a lot conservative. I mean, it's a lot conservative. But Phil, we're talking about young players. You see a guy like Darnell. You see a guy like right. But I want to go on the other side of the ball, the side that's struggling. You see the clear frustration. Obviously, we see it with Allen Robinson. You see it coming in with Darnell Mooney, who was he ripped his helmet off that one time and was just shaking his head. You're starting to see these players. I mean, imagine if Darnell Mooney is so upset. What do you think that Khalil Mack feels like? What do you think that Akeem Hicks feels like? Eddie Jackson today was fucking awful.
Oh my God.
Awful.
Him and Gibson.
Neither one of them wanted to tackle.
When he's covering, if Gibson hustles over there, he intercepts the football.
Totally agree, Phil. Totally agree. And I know some will come out more in the, Tennessee is not a team that's going to attack you deep. I mean, that one ball against Buster Screen for the touchdown, that was just a hell of a throw, hell of a catch, everything. But Eddie Jackson was out there hugging guys. I mean, Derrick Henry, 6'4", 260, and he's got him up around his head.
Yeah.
And then he just backs off. I mean, this is the highest paid safety in the NFL.
Making business decisions like our boy Ivan said. They don't tackle. They don't. Back there, I saw it. I'm with you. Both safeties were terrible today. I almost had my bold prediction come to fruition. That was a tough play by Kyle Fuller.
Oh, man.
It was very tough.
That's a tone setter, Phil. That is a tone setter. I
saw where he jumped. There was no way he was going to pick it. I thought he, at first glance from the original angle, when they showed the replay, he tried. I can't put it on him. I'll put it up on the Tape Never Lies this week.
I guess Nagy is up again?
He's coming back? Oh.
Oh, that was Claudio. I'm sorry.
You got a B shoe. B shoe.
Oh
my God. There's so many points in this game. I mean, Hambright, awful. Center, snap, shotgun. But you bring this backup guy.
I think Hambright was better than who he was. Hambright wasn't quite as bad as I was expecting, Phil. But I mean, he's better than what Coward was doing when he was at guard.
I mean, no, it was so fucking horrible out there. The effort, the technique. All you got to do is give me technique and effort. Then we got something to work with. But they don't even know assignments. Because, listen. I'm going to bring this all the way fucking back. And you're never going to get this on PFF. You're not going to get it in a fucking blog boy writer. You're not going to get it in the newspaper. You're going to get it here. And I'm going to say this. As a coach, when you're doing football and you're battling and you're going up in the NFL, right? The last thing you're thinking about is gimmick plays. When you can't block your playbook, your last thing you think about is gimmicks, because gimmicks and trickery and reverses, and they're trying to run shovel pass with Allen Robinson on first down.
Yeah.
The whole fucking stadium's laughing you out of town because you have decided that everything offensively that you're going to do is a gimmick. And you're the biggest joke. And everybody's starting to say exactly what I've said 2-3 years ago. So I can see a lot of people, I said this 3 years ago. Okay. The difference is, unfortunately, some fuck deleted all my shit to showcase what this network, what these guys right here were talking about 3 years ago. And all of you that have decided to be patrons, decided to support us, that are in there listening to the shit after you watched the Greek diner menu be pulled out and what you saw there, you're so fired up, you want to be here. You know that this shit has been called out here and only here. Everyone was rah rah, sis boom ba. We got Nagy. Shut up, Phil. He's really great. You're just negative. No. This is the fucking worst. This is the worst it's ever been, bar none. Even fucking Tressman. This is so bad because at least Tressman, they had some sort of understanding that you got to run the football in order to do anything else in your playbook. This guy can't even figure that out. He can't even get the right personnel on the field. He makes a trick play on a punt and he can't even get the play off. You're so busy in the play, you couldn't even get it in on first down. It's first down. Run the fucking toss. I don't give a fuck. You're fucking calling timeout. That's how fucking lost you are. And your Parkins is talking, and this guy's so, well. No, well. It's not well. It's horrific. It's disgusting. Pay attention to football. You think I'm going to fucking break down 40 minutes of this shit to show you somebody who is working with bad personnel and that's why? No, he's the reason. He's the one who decides Leno's, he's perfectly fine. No accountability. He's the one that decided who's going to play. Cordarrelle Patterson. He's decided that that's going to be our game plan. It wasn't Phillips. It wasn't fucking Ryan Pace. It was Nagy saying, Cordarrelle Patterson's our game plan this week, guys. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the worst, predictable, fucking numbskulling, embarrassing. Everything inside of me goes against what is going on. I coach 5 and 7-year-old flag football players. We learned 10 plays this year, Shane. 10. I was so proud of these kids. We had to learn them to run them. I'm screaming at them. I'm making little kids cry. My wife's getting upset. I go, no, they're got to learn. The pussification of America is not going to happen with these kids. And you know what? We fucking won the Super Bowl because I was hard on them and I expected them to know their plays and execute. That's it.
And the one father thanked you for it, for being hard on him.
And you know what? The father with the most difficult kid to coach, he's autistic, and I kept him in line with everybody else because I'm not going to placate to a kid because he has a disability. I'm going to treat him like everybody else. And his father said, you know what? I was worried about you with him, but you were so hard on him. He became something I didn't even think he could be because I believe in him. And that's what you got to do to your team. You put players in positions that maybe they don't think they could do. You challenge them to do it because you are maniacal. Listen, I know this. I know my Uncle Sam. I know my father. I know Larry Pasquale. I know Coach DeLeon and Pascaloni. I know all these NFL guys. I can keep going and going and going. But all of them know their plays in their head, right? There's no excuse for this. There isn't. I'm serious. There's this. 888, red toss, counter left. You know that. You checked it on. I'm looking at my play. I'm looking at my players. Where is the matchup? Who's firing out? I'm involved with the game. This is second. Because this doesn't matter if out there they're not executing. So I'll waste a fucking timeout to go ream
Well, it's his fucking playbook. He should know it.
Exactly. How do you not know it? Okay. Fake punt. We got a first down. We're going to be at the 50, right? we're going to go 888 screen, 888 screen. I'm already looking at the first down. All right, 888 screen, 888 screen. That play's already ready. This fucking guy, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do? Give it up! Give up the play calling. Make people accountable for their poor play. I'm not talking about a rookie either. That's easy.
Phil, you are completely froze, by the way. Did we lose him?
God.
Yeah, I think we did. Well, we have our guest here ready to go. And in true TTNL fashion, we only do it one way. So we are going to do it the right way and introduce him this way.
Yo, Bears Hour Live.
The Tape Never Lies
We
Network.
go on live right after Bears games with your boys Draft Talk and the smartest man alive. Spending all his days, all his money going to the games. Doing everything to show the lies of Mr. Sunshine sees. But when he gets off the plane from England, walking through O'Hare, goes Twitter live but gets cock blocked by the Twitter police. Greggy come back, the tweets we can't see. Should've switched to iPhone or just left the phone home like Joey. Greggy come back, I need to see what you saw. Now you're home alone with a case of mango White Claw.
This is Bears Hour Live.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
That's so funny.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy?
I probably kicked you off, Phil. It was me. I was the one that came in. That's right. Glenn is always messing things up.
So just so you know, Glenn.
Can I take my
that
mask off? Am I
we're
allowed to take this off finally? Jeez.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Just so you know, we're about 1,000 deep live. I know you're not used to big crowds like that.
I don't like
on
they
your
make
show,
me
but
nervous.
there's a
They
lot
make
of
me
people
nervous.
listening.
No, they make me nervous. I got to keep it tight. I need just chubs in my chat. That's what I need.
There he is.
Ooh, well, at least we can laugh about something after that one, boys. That was...
No, we can't laugh. We can't laugh. It's
well, we're trying anyway.
You're
that's
the
all you
reason.
can do at this point.
Go
ahead.
You're the great gift from God to give us some laughs today because you drove all the way down there by yourself to go witness this thing. Bragg's in the stands. You see it. We were talking about your show this week with Dion Miller, and she admitted that we can't ask those tough questions. I really want to, but we can't ask. And then she's right in with you guys in criticism of this coach, like you know me. So you saw it there. I mean, it was horrific on television. What was it like there, Greg?
Pitiful. I mean, it's just pitiful. It gets to a point where it's almost laughable how they can do absolutely nothing on offense. It's 3 and out. I mean, we're back to Chad Hutchinson days. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. And, you know, I'm the Mitch guy, so it's like you just continue to think back of how this has happened the last 2 years and everything me and you have talked about, Phil, and you especially pointing out this offensive line issue. And I know you're really big with Nagy, and you always have been as far as he's not the guy, but it's like the offensive line cannot block a lick, as one Glenn brags. They just can't. And then you compound the issue when half of them are out with either COVID or injury. And it's just so sad to watch. They can't do anything, and Foles is a sitting duck. He gets hit every time he throws. I was surprised. I thought there'd be more Bears fans here today because I know there was a big turnout at the Panthers game. but the Titans fans definitely made their presence felt for the fans that were allowed there. So it wasn't a Bears takeover by any means like the last time we saw the Bears play in Tennessee and Peanut Tillman had the 4 peanut punches. It wasn't anything like that. So, and there was nothing Bears fans could get excited about, so you just didn't hear them all day. It was just sad. It was nice to be in the stadium. It was nice to just take that in and feel some normalcy in a beautiful 78-degree day, but the Bears just didn't hold up their end of the bargain. But I also kind of knew this was coming as the week was leading up, so it wasn't a surprise, or I wasn't like raging by the end because I kind of felt that this was going to happen.
I don't know, man.
I'm just looking forward now. To me, it's either make the playoffs and you still get time here. I'll be willing to give you time. I know.
Exactly. We need that. We need that drop. I don't see.
Greg, I don't either.
Greg, you know this team just like we do. We have a primetime game Monday Night Football coming up. You know what's going to happen with this team. To me, it's just going to get worse. I don't see these guys turning this around. I mean, the defense has their moments. They're good enough to keep you in every single game. And let's be honest, you were an onside kick away from having a chance to tie the game. As bad as everything went today, and that's a testament to your defense. NFL is a 3-point league, but
exactly.
You as the eternal optimist, Greg. Where is your confidence level if they don't make the playoffs and they finish 6-10, 7-9, whatever it is? What do you think that George is going to do? Do you think that they have it in them to blow this whole fucking thing up? As they should.
If it was me, they'd all be gone.
We know that they're not hiring you for anything. We're asking.
So
do you think George McCaskey will launch everybody?
So I think George McCaskey is in love with Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace the same way he was in love with Mitchell Trubisky. So I think he wants to believe in him, but if we go back and look at how they handled the Mark Trestman situation, they ran him out of town in year 2, but that also coincided with a locker room that completely fell apart. We're not necessarily seeing that here, aside from some, last week with Javon Williams. That was the first big thing where I was like, oh, that's a lose the locker room kind of moment, in my opinion.
Olin said that's the first crack, that the cracks are starting. He said you have the egg and that the cracks are starting now.
When a game is in the balance and a player is saying, I'm not going to show up at DB by scoring a touchdown on him. I'm going to go beat the crap out of him because I don't care about what's going on the game. That's when you are losing a locker room by definition. Now, we didn't see any of that today. You're still seeing, mental mistakes, but, it's like, so for me, I think he likes Matt Nagy, George McCaskey. My question is Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy a package deal? I would like both of them gone. I understand it's probably not going to happen unless they win 7 games or less. So, yeah, it does scare me to think they don't make the playoffs and Matt Nagy or both Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace keep their jobs, because I'll be livid. That's not how I want it. I'd rather just start over.
You can't hamstring your new – say if you launch Ryan Pace, you can't hamstring your new GM with a guy that's not. We've been down this road before.
The Bears have done that.
Oh, exactly.
And what scares me is Deion Miller. When I had her on Friday night, I asked her, do you think Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy are a package deal, assuming she would say yes, and she said no. So that surprised me. And if I had to guess then, if you don't think George McCaskey isn't pissed at Ryan Pace for not picking Patrick Mahomes, you're wrong. He's got to be. Patrick Mahomes is a god, and we're the laughing stock. So in the back of his head, he's mad at Ryan Pace. Now, is he as mad at Ryan Pace as he is Matt Nagy? He might not be there yet. He might be making excuses for him like I like to do about everybody. I don't know. I would hope to me, I said it 2 weeks ago, walk into their rooms and say, make the playoffs or you're gone, and walk out. That's what a real owner would do. But they're not hardlined in Hallis Hall. They're like me. They want to believe in guys. They want to, the
only way I think you could move forward if you launch Pace and keep the head coach, which is, let's be honest, is a disaster waiting to happen, is you bring in the guy from Monday Night Football, Louis Riddick, who's close to Nagy.
That's a really good point.
That's a guy that they would bring in that would be on the same page with Matt Nagy. Yeah, they're cohesive. They worked for the same organization at one point in Philly, but
Lewis is basically his PR guy.
Exactly. Well, he was talking
Lewis
today.
He called him out last week.
He did, but he also was defending him today, Phil, because he sent out a tweet and he said, "I'm sorry, you can say whatever you want. You cannot run an effective NFL offense if you don't have an offensive line." Well,
but he doesn't get a pass on that. It's
no, exactly. I agree.
Case that they don't have an offensive line. It was Matt Nagy's decision to take Cole Kmet with the first pick just as much as it's Ryan Pace's. It was Matt Nagy's decision to say Jermaine Ifedi is the best pickup we can get in free agency. He's the one that wanted to blame it all on Mitch and say, let's get a quarterback in here because that's what's going to fix my offense, and not revamping the entire offensive line, which is clear that needs to happen along with other things. But to me, that's where it starts.
Yeah, John, I didn't say why would you keep Nagy and get rid of Pace. We're talking about what Greg is speaking on, that maybe George is ready to move on from Ryan Pace and not ready to move on from. It's not me saying that.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the scenario of what George is going to do. And it's hard for me to envision, if he's not going to fire Matt Nagy, that he would fire Ryan Pace. To me, they're a package deal.
Exactly. There's one move to make.
When I was at Bears 100 last year, you got both these guys up on the stage after the whole thing's over, and they're shaking hands and taking autographs and kissing babies, and they're a package deal. So if one's gone, they're both gone. It makes no sense to.
And that's the thing too. And I know Cars and I have debated about this, and this is where I'm going to defend my stance a little bit. I know Cars isn't here to defend himself on this, but the offensive line is obviously on Ryan Pace. He's the GM. He's the guy bringing in the talent. But at the end of the day, this is year 3 for Matt Nagy. Every offensive player that is here playing, contributing, is somebody that Matt Nagy has signed off on for his offense.
Exactly.
Right.
Remember the entire thing? Oh, Matt Nagy just needs his quarterback. He just needs his tight end. Oh, he needs his running back that can run his offense.
Well, and you know what else too? It's so much about Matt, because he's the one that put it on an island and said it was just the quarterback, because at 2-0 and then at potentially 2-1 when Mitch was falling off the rails against the Falcons. I'm not going to say Mitch came back and won the game the same way Foles did, but at the same time, when you pull Mitch after one mistake, you're saying that, look, we're doing nothing wrong but him. To me, that's what that is, because you don't ever.
Well, that shows you that Matt Nagy was never convinced that he won the job outright, and that's it. Right.
So he's saying we can be better than this. I don't accept just field goals. I want 7, not 3s. And now that we got
can't even get 7.
He can't get into the red zone.
Can't even get across midfield. Let's say this. I'm sorry, guys. I am gonna say you gotta fire Nagy.
I agree. I agree.
If it means that Pace is staying and he gets to hire the next guy, that's fine. But this is coaching negligence in Chicago. Despite everything you're saying, Nagy got his guys. Cole Kmet or an offensive tackle there. That should have been your choices. What did we say? What are the biggest needs of this, especially after free agency? It was what? Offensive tackle or pass rusher helping out. They went and wide receiver. We wanted a speed receiver. They fucking got. Am I awful right now? Freezing?
Yeah, you're not. It's not clear. It's a little better than it was, but you're in and out.
Come back.
The bandwidth. That damn bandwidth.
Well, it's a StreamYard issue. I think you were talking about it with Phil, that you've been having the same problem. Yes, I know people in the chat are saying.
You add to a stream, then the bandwidth
gets to the point where can you hear me now?
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, you run a speed test, and I could share this because I've been on the phone with StreamYard for fucking 20 days now, it seems, to get this bullshit fixed, and it can't. It's so frustrating. So when you have over 30 MGPSs, I'll tell you right now, 181 download, and 30.1 Mbps, nerds. It's not the fucking internet. It's the software that continues to do this bullshit. It's almost like the Nagy playbook. So all I'm saying is this in regards to this point. Can't make excuses for this fucking shoe salesman. You go out there with the guys you have and you condense it down and you play to your team's strengths and you can't even understand what those are. When it came to the draft, you didn't properly assess your team. Your GM is going to you. He's going to you. What do you need? You made your choice. Cole Kmet was your choice. See,
right.
They don't even use him. So
zero targets.
Offensive
today.
linemen could be used. Offensive linemen are needed like anything.
I'd rather have the tight end Notre Dame has right now.
Well, he's a freshman, but he is.
I know. He's turning up the field. This guy, I barely ever see him. I mean, maybe it's not his fault, but yeah, it scares me. And I want to ask you guys this. If they make the playoffs, and I know it's a long shot and a stupid thing to even suggest, but they are 5-4, and it could luck their way into it considering that 7 teams from each conference make the playoffs. So you know it's going to be right on the skin of their teeth, just like last year when they had no business almost making it. But if they did, then they do keep their jobs, correct?
Oh, that's not the Chicago Bear way. If they make the playoffs, they're bad. Listen, I'll be completely honest. Let me preface this by saying you only have a very small portion of time where you have a chance to completely clean house with everything. Mitch isn't going to be back.
Right here.
Just fact. GM, launch him. Head coach, launch him. Staff, gone. Everybody's gone. But this isn't this. This isn't
talking to you about that for how many years?
I know.
The chance to have a clean slate organization, and you could even throw in a president of football operations.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't do it, but it's a smart thing to do.
Well, that's the thing. We're not. Listen, it's like people say, oh, they got to sell the team. They're not selling the team. Save your air.
Until the old lady dies.
Until Virginia McCaskey passes away, and as bad as that sounds, the Bears are not moving on. Phil, we've talked to people that have strong connections inside the organization, and they've said that people in the family show up once a month for their check, and they're gone, and that's the last. They're not seen until the next month.
All they care about.
It's not. They care about their bottom line. They don't. Football is not a priority in Chicago. But listen, this is what's the Bears. 101 years of listen. We get so pissed because we're invested. We believe it. We live, breathe, eat, sleep, and shit this every day. Look at what we're wearing. You know, we all have Bears gear. Our man caves are all Bears gear. We're spending $40 on a Bears hat because we love our team. They don't. That's what they're concerned about. This asshole Greg is paying $40 for a hat.
Yeah, this was $48.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what their concern is.
They all the way down to the fucking stadium to see it.
But you're not.
It is a nice hat.
Yeah, but then you're not going to force an ownership change. You're not going to.
No,
it's not going to happen. So you move on.
We get a president with the firing of Nagy. That could happen.
But Phil, even that will not work. Listen, you have a cornerstone. No. I'm saying it won't work if you have to. If you're gonna say you launch Ted Phillips, you have to go to the team president and you say you have full autonomy. We finally saw it with the Chicago Bulls this year. Jerry Reinsdorf and Michael Reinsdorf made the correct decision. They spent on a coach. They cleared out Garpax. But then again, you saw what they did. You know that. Whatever, who knows how Tony La Russa will work out for the White Sox, but I don't want to bog this show down with baseball talk. You have to, if you're going to turn it over to a team president, it cannot be a financial guy. It can't be. It's got to be 100% football, and you essentially go to him. Listen, there's no cap on coaching financially. So you go to this team president and you turn it over to him and you give him a blank fucking check and you say, you make the Chicago Bears a respectable fucking franchise again where football matters. It's number one. We're not going to trot out Ted fucking Phillips and put him as the face of... You play fucking Madden, Ted Phillips is the owner on Madden.
He is?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Ownership. It's Ted Phillips. That just shows you how...
Millhouse.
Yes, Millhouse.
He's fucking Millhouse. Let me say this. It's got to happen because we...
Right here. Where did I just see it? Pusha T. It's exactly right. The only way that you're going to make an impact, and this is what's so hard, if they've let fans back in, Braggs will be the fucking first one through the door. But the only way you make a fucking impact is to not show. They did that when Trestman was...
That's one way. I think that's one way to get it.
That's the biggest fucking way.
It is. It is the biggest way. Bears fans, typically when they're there, as I think I saw you tweet, had it been a normal game today, there would have been 80% Bears fans in that stadium booing
Absolutely.
the Bears on the road for sure. And they would
have been all... We would have all been there.
The Bears fans that were there were booing them going into the halftime tunnel.
Thank God.
100%. And, you know, so I agree with you, but it just seems like, to me, the Bear, like, so when you say you can't buy merch, I see what you're saying. It is one way of going about it. But as a Cub fan, you know, not to delve off into other sports, but we all did the same thing with the Cubs. We kept going and we got mocked for it. But once we got the right leadership that gave us direction and Theo Epstein came in, it changed everything. It also coincided with, you know, the Tribune company selling the team. It was when a new owner came in, and Tom Ricketts, someone who actually cared and had, you know, a direction for what he wanted to do. Now, at the same time, to me, George McCaskey can get it done. I'm not the biggest fan of George McCaskey's. I've met him a few times, and I do love the effort he puts into trying to be like this good owner to the fans. To an extent, I think he's made missteps. If I was in his room, I could tell him a million ways to be better towards the diehard fans of his team.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I just want the Bears to win a Super Bowl, and I know George McCaskey wants that. He desperately wants that, and I think he thought he had it with Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, and Mitch Trubisky. And I know last year they were all caught off guard by it because they walked around Bears 100 like they were the kings of
Exactly.
kings.
And what did they do? What did they had one good fucking year, Greg, and
man, did it smell right. They were
I know.
They had the right nucleus. They had an unstoppable force in Khalil Mack. They had a young and up-and-coming quarterback. It all seemed right. And yes, it's easy in for Chicago Bears fans to drink the Kool-Aid, but now it's like 2 years of being stymied by the punch.
Here's the difference, though, Greg. If you look back at that season, and yes, we have the benefit of 2020 now, but if you go back and you look at it with an honest eye, like we like to do here, there was big-time fucking issues with this offense leading up the second half of the 2018 season all the way through. Listen, we got through. What do we always say? Trey Burton was out of that game, and that changed our entire fucking offense. But yet we still had Tariq Cohen. We still had fucking Allen Robinson.
Well,
we still had Anthony.
Guys, and
exactly.
They don't miss a beat. They don't miss a beat.
Exactly.
This is where the fucking shit stinks. It's usually when your toilet clogs up that you start to worry about your plumbing, because you ain't worrying about flushing the fucking toilet when everything's going good. And that's the reality for the Bears. When everything's going good, nobody's worried about shit but me. And that's the truth, because I've been saying this shit for years, that Matt Nagy is the problem. So I'm going to call it for what it is. It's not Ryan Pace. He's missed. He's had to fucking replace. He's got sign free agents and do the GM job. But at the end of the day, when you go out to fucking battle, when it all matters, when the records matter, the drives, we can't be fucking just skipping over the fucking reality. The reality is situational football escapes him. Preparedness escapes him. Accountability escapes him. Game plans completely escape him. And fucking timeouts, penalty. You lead the league in penalties. You came here to be the offensive guru. You're 31st in the whole NFL. You're 30th in rushing. You're 32nd in passing. I don't even know any other stats, but we'll just say they're all in the 29s and 30s.
They made the Titans defense look like the
You're
steel
the last
curtain.
ranked defense in the NFL.
You had Titans fans in the stands joking. They were like, "Where has this defense been all year?" I was like, "Slow down, champ. It's our offense. You're gonna be giving up yards next week. Don't worry."
We're in the shotgun, Greg. We're in predictable situations. That isn't Ryan Pace. That is
Didn't
the
you
fucking
think that
Matt Nagy.
Didn't you think that Matt Nagy was trying to do more I formation under center in the first half? I got a sense of that, but I'm not the football guy like you are in that way. Did you think that Matt was doing?
I don't see anything. You know what Matt was doing? He was formulating a game plan, like Shane said, around a special teams guy in Cordarrelle Patterson. That was a game scheme. And we're going to get Cordarrelle, and he's going to make big plays. And that's exactly what Greg Jennings, who, oh, by the way, was a terrible fucking color guy today. It was just
Tom Pelissero tweeted it out before, like 2 hours before the Bears game, that Cordarrelle Patterson was going to be the fucking focal point.
They told them this is what we're going to do. And they did exactly what they told them. Get rid of this fucking clown. Are you fucking serious? He's the face of your franchise. I could go in there this week and come up with a better plan to attack the Vikings next week. And people laugh and shit. Who are you? I know exactly. I put my name on it. Go watch me breaking down. You think that shit would be tolerated? No fucking way. I don't care if it's Hambright all the way down on that off. Dieter Eisland would go out there and play guard better. He would know exactly what he's doing because we would condense it down. We'd keep it simple and start to find your identity there. You can't go this far, way out into the fucking universe. Let's run shovel pass, Greg, on 1st and goal. Let's trick him here and then think that you're going to find your fucking identity. You're a fucking loser. Get rid of him. That's the reality. That's where me and somebody wrote, David Kaplan said, get rid of both of these clowns. Do it. Do it now. Set the tone. Be a fucking football charter franchise. The old man's rolling over in his grave. This is bullshit.
That's why it would be unacceptable for them to miss the playoffs and anyone keep their job. They started the season 5-1, and they benched the quarterback that was the second round pick because they said they were going to get better, and they've gotten significantly worse, and that's an indictment on Matt Nagy, period. And so if Matt goes, Pace has to go. Pace has to go because he didn't pick Mahomes. You know, that's just the breaks in life. You know, no one told him. No one else was saying pick Mahomes at
Karma
3,
got
but that's
this
your job.
Motherfucker. He's a bitch. He blamed Mitch. He really did. It's what you said. It was a big fucking horse and pony show, Shane.
Well, do you remember you were
the competition? Then all of a sudden you had that quick fucking pull. Say what you want about Rex Ryan. He said it. What you did to Mitch is what has been done here in Chicago many times. It's embarrassing. You fucking said Mitch was the problem when really you're a coward, not Rashad.
Well, it's ironic to me because I'm rooting for Foles. So he first comes in and he makes a miraculous comeback. They have the Bucks win. I'm trying to see this through. Like, hey, come on. But it is hard for me not to laugh a little bit as someone that was like, hey, Mitch isn't all the problem, and also someone that rooted for Mitch to come out of it, and he ultimately never did. But it is kind of funny to me now that they got this guy back there who's supposed to run the offense better, and the offensive line is collapsing just like they did last year, and he can't run.
It's not even that, but
he just touched his head and
he's seen. Listen, we know that the offensive line sucks. We know that that's an issue, but there's times when they give him a pocket, and you heard Dick Stockton of all people, and I don't like to bash the guy. He's my neighbor, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so he's probably going to listen to this and fucking throw a fucking bag of dog shit on my front porch. But anyways, Nick Foles won't even step up into the fucking pocket to deliver a ball. Everything is retreating. And that shows you that it's a mental issue. You saw it a lot with Cutler. Cutler would do the same thing because he believed in his own physical tools so much that he said, I don't need to be fundamentally sound. I have this fucking howitzer on my shoulder and I will thread the fucking needle. And it does not fucking work that way. You saw the one to Anthony Miller today. The one Miller ran the little in route. It was like a fucking 3rd and 11 maybe.
Yep.
He was wide open. Yep. All he had to do, he had time to step up into the pocket, maintain his fundamentals, and deliver the fucking football. He didn't. He was going back, back, back. He stepped, and then he fucking threw. And it fell apart. It's a problem.
So I was another in the stands little tidbit, and I won't share the player's family name, but I was sitting.
You're on the
here.
wrong network for that.
No,
let her fly.
Dude.
But
Keep
there
it
was
100.
a family of players because they all had the same jersey name on, and right before the fumble to the house, the usher was talking to him. Was like, I thought you guys were going to play better than this. She goes, the quarterback sucks.
Was it offense or defense?
Offense. That's all I'll say.
I already know what play you're talking about.
Nah, it's not the obvious one.
Yeah, are you sure? I knew it was this play. Oh, wow. Let's
We know who it was now, Greg.
So then I kind of said, I was like, they should have never taken Mitch out, me being the Mitch guy. I go, at least he could get out of the pocket and run away from all the defenders flying in. But, it's...
Nagy's moving the fucking pocket more with Foles, a guy that can't run. That's the fucking problem. How do you think this fucking guy feels?
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, everybody's got smoke coming out their mouth. That's the funniest.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
There you go.
That's my biggest thing is we asked Nagy a million times to move the pocket for Mitch. He doesn't do it, and now Foles is in, and he's moving the pocket and leaving it to just one side of the field reads for Foles, who I thought was the guy that can read the whole field.
Right.
What the hell is going on?
It's
Where is Claudio?
He's there. He's in the back. There he is.
Dude, it's getting creepy, Greg. It's getting creepy with Shane. Shane spends more time on this shit than his own segment. So I don't know what the fuck is going on.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I would too.
All right, I had to come in and I'll get out. You got.
I can't believe Claudio was back there this whole time.
Well, he's producing. He produces Bears Hour Live. He's the one that's putting up all the comments from the fans. It's a clown show. I'm glad Claudio's helping out here because we would be lost. I know you're under trees. I can hear the birds chirping.
That's a train. That would be a train. I don't know if it was a bird.
That was another missed opportunity by the Matt Nagy playbook. I'm at the point where I just get to the point where I'm like, it can't be any worse. And then it is worse.
This is what will make everybody sick here, and I have to throw it out there because you're moving into obviously a critical offseason where we said they're going to have to decide on quarterback. I don't think you can go into 2021 saying this is Nick Foles' team.
Oh my God, no.
He's uninhibited. He's going to be the full-time starter. You have a first-round pick there, and that's the problem because if you're investing in Pace and Nagy, or even one or the other, again, then you're getting their guys in this draft, and that's a in round one. That's a fucking 5-year commitment to their guys. And do you expect either one of these guys to be here in 5 years? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that's the thing.
I expect them to get fired. I really do.
They have to, Phil. But I have no faith in this franchise to do the right thing. Unfortunately,
they're going to have to do it. And the media, you're going to have to hold them accountable by the fire. Which I know, Greg sent me Mark Potash asking him that question, and the exact thing that Mark asked Matt Nagy did on Sunday. He can't help himself. It's in his DNA to be stupid. He's played in the Arena League. He sold houses. He's nothing but a fraud. And if you're going to fucking continue to hang on to frauds and let them be the face of what you're trying to do, at some point, the truth is going to fucking come out. And unfortunately, now, thank God, it's coming out when we can actually break it down here.
These losses are only going to get worse and more embarrassing. Let's not forget we
Exactly.
still have 2 games against the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers is humming right now, and I know George McCaskey hates the Green Bay Packers. So, you know, right now, if the season ended today, Matt Nagy would probably still have his job. But if we keep going down this road and they continue to lose games, I think the embarrassment factor might push McCaskey in the correct direction. It's just hard. As a Bears fan, you're still rooting for them to come out of it. So I imagine that's the kind of mentality George McCaskey has right now. They're 5-4, and you can do that. But like anybody with 2 eyes watching this team the last month, I don't know how they're going to win another game the rest of the year. I really don't.
The defense.
They're losing next week to the Vikings, I'll tell you that.
The defense is going to start to go against the offense. You see the frustration already transpiring. You saw your rookie receiver take off his helmet and be upset. Club Dub is closed, as Matt Beyer is talking. Close it for good. We saw all of this manipulation, and at the end of the day, football is about blocking and tackling. It's about catching and dropping the football. Those things matter. And with we're
good at dropping the football.
We're good. Yeah, exactly. And the reality is there's no plan. There's no game plan. It's like when you even talk to that reporter at the halftime, did you hear her comment?
Yeah.
Like I talked to Matt Nagy, and he said, it's not good. It's got to be better. Yeah, no shit. Like,
it's been that way for 3 years, asshole.
This is where we're at. We're getting the truth, and we don't want to accept it. And when I say we, I'm talking about the freaking media and the fans. They think that Matt Nagy's going to figure this out. He's not. He can't figure out his identity. He can't figure out how to run the ball. He didn't realize that 32 was his best rusher. Now all of a sudden,
that's what scares me about the answer he had to Mark Potash, because he laughed at Potsy's hard question at him. He laughed it off, but I don't think he understands the seriousness of the moment.
Yeah,
like you would be laughing if it was 3-5 and he asked you that question. You're laughing because you're 5-3 and you think you're playing with house money. But this season's about to flip on its face real fast, and you don't have Mitch Trubisky there anymore to drag up and down through the media streets. It's going to be all on Matt Nagy's face.
No, I totally agree, and it's unfortunate because the culprit of his blame was Mitch. That's how he got away from the truth in that situation. Now, what are you going to do with this situation when everything's coming back at you? How are you going to get away from that truth? How are you going to get away from reality that you put on tape? Well, nobody's asking him the hard questions. And to your point, we talked on the phone yesterday when we were talking about you coming on, and you were like, if they were on a losing streak or they were 2 and whatever, Matt Nagy would have probably left the stage had Mark asked him that tough question. The fact of the matter is Mark asked him the tough question. He laughed it off. He hid behind his record, and he did exactly what Potsy asked if he wouldn't do, and he did it.
Well, Phil, your mic drop moment is the fucking record. Listen, the Bears fired Lovie Smith after a 10-6 year. It's because they didn't get enough done in the fucking playoffs. Matt Nagy has I don't give a shit what his record is. This team has done nothing but regress in his 3 years.
Oh my
God. If you're going to follow the overall record, that's fucking great. If you're going to dismiss the fucking trends of where this is headed and be a fucking complete meathead and just say, oh, he's got a great record, fuck that. Kaplan made that mistake. He was on a pod with JJ and JJ's partner there, I'm blanking on his name, and Kaplan's like, this team is 5-1. Cam Ellis. This team is 5-1, and the next this team is 5-2. Come on, it's 5. Listen, these guys are 5-3. They can still turn 5-4. Right, exactly.
They're 5 and 5. They're 5-11 all of a sudden.
They're 5-4 with no offensive identity, and I understand the shambles, but let's listen. You can't make this offensive line an issue right now when it was fucking god awful with the first string that you started this season with.
Exactly.
It was horrific.
Then you refused to pick anybody up while the Bengals went out and got 2 guys. And then injuries come, which if you'd have just gotten some guys because you already needed them, now you really need them. You still don't get them when they got Eric Kush back.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Matt, 2 things. Who do you have behind Mustafa who has played center before? And also, with such a makeshift line Sunday, how willing are you to kind of simplify the offense, to just kind of make sure you establish a foundation, or knowing your DNA, is that just not going to happen?
Only from you, Mark. No, I mean, we have some guys on this team that you'll see as we go here in regards to who can play center and how that goes. And I think that's why it's our job to make sure that
mad
we get guys
right
prepared. That's where we're at right now, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that they can play fast. So simplifying things and allowing them to play fast is something that we'll do. And if there's something that's in there that's too much, then we can't do that, and I think that's where it's the question and answer from us with the players, and then being able to evaluate them. For instance, not having practice yesterday. Today was a long day for us because we had to catch up with some of our other stuff that we missed yesterday on the field, but they did a really good job.
Huge problem.
So I'm really in all 3 phases. So we'll continue to simplify as much as we can so that we can play fast.
When was the last time that you heard a head coach of an NFL fucking team when his feet are held to the fire? One of his excuses is, well, we had a really long practice today. That's the whole fucking point. That's why you have a long fucking practice.
Exactly. He is a lying shitbag like Chicago.
0.0.
You can't make it up, guys. Greg cut that for us the other day.
Like that?
And
you see the I screen recorded it. You can see like my phone logo.
Yeah, I got your phone logo right here.
Only
go fuck yourself.
Not nice, Greg.
That's one of 972 snaps. Shane
You're not
has in
kidding.
his possession.
Oh my! But
if I ever tried to run for president, Shane would have all the dirt on me.
That's right.
Don't run for president. But let me say this.
I think we're safe.
I think we're 35 this year, so I'm eligible this year. So going forward, look out.
Let me just say this real quick because I don't want to lose the topic there. That was the indictment of why he needs to be fired, because he got angry at Mark Potash's question. He got defensive, sensitive, and then talked about a long practice and did the exact thing that Mark was saying you've been known to do because you're a dumb motherfucker. It's basically how he was asking the question. It was rhetorical. And he still couldn't fucking get it right. So he's never going to get it right. Never. You're not going to no fucking playoffs. Someone get that fucking drop for me. Playoffs? Are you fucking, how are you talking play? This team is so outmatched offensively. The only thing their hope is their punt returner breaks one, their kicker can kick one, and their defense can pick one or pick one up and score. Because there's nothing you're doing offensively that anybody's worried about. You're getting lucky. That's it. A deep ball, you break one. There's no drive. There's no personality. There's no attitude. There's no fucking culture. You, my friend Matt Nagy, you are the Willy Wonka of bullshit. So we can talk about Juan Castillo replacing Harry Easton, who's so well recognized. You can fire the offensive coordinator, hire all these other guys to try to hide the reality. This is about you. And you are still the same fucking ignorant, gotta be the smartest person in the room, asshole. That's really what he is. And I would say that right to his face. I would tell him, if we had him on the show, that would be great. I would say, Matt, you gotta keep it 100. You gotta stop being an asshole. You really can't talk down to the fans. These fans are too smart. They're not like these dumbasses.
Phil, let me speak on this. You know,
Go ahead.
we came out firing against Danny Parkins to start the show off with his ridiculous comment, and he's on Twitter ranting still and trying to justify his point. And I just want to share this with the listeners to show you
his original point, Shane.
He said, "Oh, here's the Bears Twitter sees Anthony Miller fumble the football, and they're like, oh, that's Nagy's fault. Bears Twitter sees a false start on the offensive line. Oh, that's Nagy's fault. Bears Twitter sees a quarterback sack. Oh, that's Nagy's fault." Well, yeah, it is. If you know anything about fucking football, but here's Danny's rationale that he's putting out on social media of why this isn't Matt Nagy's fault. In a league where stability is a huge asset, firing a coach with a 12-win, 8-win, and we'll see how many wins this year's season with time left on his contract and a Coach of the Year award, I'd be skeptical of the candidate and the staff you'd attract. Also, he did that with a roster that was heavily skewed in terms of spending on defense with a bottom 5 quarterback play when he inherited Trubisky. He was in KC when they evaluated Mahomes. Rookie quarterbacks perform earlier than ever, so I want him to pick his guy to pair with his defense. Well, he did, Danny. He picked his quarterback. And guess what? He was here and signed off on the fucking trade that they made. Justifiably, they did. They made the correct call with Khalil Mack. They moved forward with Mitch Trubisky, saying that this was going to be our guy. They went out and said, Jermaine Ifedi's the only fucking move we need to make on the offensive line to run my offense. Go get me Jimmy Graham. Go get me Cole Kmet. Let's trade up for David Montgomery. Oh, let's go draft the Beacon, Riley Ridley. Let's bring him in. They won't even fucking activate. You saw him today make a play on fucking third down. Third and 18? Is that what it was?
3rd and 18.
Ridley made the play. So Danny's talking out of his. I would love to have him on, and I don't want to have him on. I don't want to have him on just to be a dick to him, but to sit here and
I think he'd have the
to sit here and say that you got to keep Matt Nagy because he won fucking coach. What the fuck does that matter? This is 2020. He won it in 2018. He won Coach of the Year.
Ron was Coach of the Year.
I don't.
Put them all down.
Those
Mike Martz was the Coach of the Year.
All those excuses and everything else, those were acceptable last year. This year was the get right year. This year,
totally agree.
Normal teams say this is last chance. This is it. That was what I always said going into last offseason. Push your chips in the table one last time with these guys, and if not, wipe the slate clean. That's why I was happy they didn't sign Teddy Bridgewater to a 5-year deal, and they did bring in a 1-year deal guy because I don't want a long-term commitment when we still don't know what this GM and a head coach are going to do going forward. So you have now this opportunity. To me, you don't just get to base. The record is great. He does get to have credit to his record, but if you do not make the playoffs, then you have not made the playoffs 2 years in a row because of your offense. And if you're an organization that fired your best head coach or second greatest head coach of all time because he was 10-6 and not making the playoffs enough, and on the back of his defense, he was 10-6. It wasn't like Lovey was winning games and it was the other side of the ball doing well. So you're not gonna. Matt Nagy doesn't get a
this
pass.
Entire offense. Yes, he didn't choose Mitch. Everything else, even listen, Cody Whitehair was drafted before Matt Nagy, but Cody Whitehair signed his extension when Matt Nagy was head coach. It was about a week or so after, I believe, or maybe it was even last year that he signed his extension. But all of these guys, Allen Robinson, Trey Burton, Taylor Gabriel, all of these guys that Matt Nagy wanted. Greg, let me ask you. I think you and I talked about this the other night on the phone. We asked Olin, what player on this offense has improved under the evil genius Matt Nagy? Name one. Think that says it all, right?
0.0.
No, I had high hopes for Mitch. I had high hopes, Anthony Miller coming out of his first training camp, one of the most electrifying guys. That is very creepy, Claudio. Very creepy. So, like I said, you got Anthony Miller, Tariq Cohen, Mitch Trubisky. I had high hopes for all those guys. Eddie Jackson, he's been, but I look at the offensive side of the ball with Nagy. I don't even count anything on defense, even though he is the head coach. To me, it is all on the offensive side. And no, the answer is no, unfortunately. Either people have stayed the same or people have regressed. There has not been anybody elevating their game, which is...
When we had Olin on, the only, James Daniels to me, and I think you pointed this out, Greg, with me on the phone the other night, it was a short sample size because of when he got hurt. Olin brought up Allen Robinson, but at the same time, he put up a 1,400-yard and 14 touchdown season in Jacksonville.
He was a veteran. He was a grizzled vet the day he walked in.
So Allen Robinson was who Allen Robinson was far before Matt Nagy got his hands on him. But it's a problem, man. I don't see how you can sit here with an open mind and know how this team operates from top to bottom and say, oh, they're going to launch these guys. To me, that's just blind faith, and you're pissing in the fucking wind and hoping for the best. I don't see the fucking blueprint. I don't see the history of where they're just going to all of a sudden change complete course with this team. And listen, if they came out at the end on Black Monday after the season and launched Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, the first fucking words out of our mouths and all Bears fans' mouths were, Ted Phillips better be next. Better be next. We got to get a fucking president in here. And we've been preaching that. He's been here since what, 83? And what's he done? The dude doesn't know football. And he's been working for an organization for that long. What does that say to you?
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Come on, Glenn.
You never know. You got to pull up the "It Could Happen" gif from the kid from.
You know him, Greg brags in the stand. Did you like the intro that I produced for you, Greg?
I loved it. There
you go. I'm going to text it to you.
It was very nice.
Hopefully, we could, cross promote our shows, and me and Shane come over and share a little conversation.
Tell us about your show, Greg.
Well, like I said,
hey, that's messed up, Shane. I do give a fuck. Shane's always so mean to Greg.
Well, that's all the time we have for our guest today. Thanks for chiming in, Greg. No, we love you.
Greg, where can they find your show? Find you? Talk about
of course. Find me on Brad in the Stands. We're on Twitter. What did you do? Did you mute me?
No, I want to do it again, though.
With it. I got a 7-hour drive to the region, sir.
I think you should drive 110 miles an hour, Greg.
All by himself.
I'm a crew. Now that I'm a dad, I play cruise control games. Slow and steady wins the race.
There you go.
Might even listen to some Bob Marley on the way.
I wish you weren't a liar, but go ahead.
Hey, the biggest lie I ever told was that Mitch Trubisky was gonna ball. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the worst. That might be the worst lie I ever told on these shows. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on, and of course, I want to bring you guys on Brags and Stans so we can learn a little. I can learn a little something about football because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But what I do at Brags and Stans was what I got to do today, and go to a football game, be in the stands. I harassed a Packer fan. I got to get some, highlights, even though they were all Titans highlights, and got to, be in the stands and feel the energy. It was definitely a different energy than with a packed house. So, and when the Bears are playing like shit, it's probably a better thing that more Bears fans weren't there because everybody be fighting. So, but like I said, just find me on Brags in the Stands. I'm always on Twitter chopping it up and at Brags in Stands, and then on YouTube, all that stuff. But one day when we get back to life and normalcy, I'm always at a tailgate. I'm always in the bleachers at Wrigley Field. That's just kind of what I do. And again, I appreciate you guys having me on tonight.
Who won the World Series this year?
The LA Dodgers. Congratulations to you, sir. I was rooting for you. Thank you very much. I'm not a hater. Once my frenemies teams get to the dance, I end up just rooting for them because I got a soft heart. So I definitely am happy for you in that regard. So, but yeah, again, I also want to thank you guys, because it has been fun starting my own thing. Brags in the Stands is kind of embodies who I am, and you guys are the only reason I'm even doing any of that stuff is because you guys kind of showed me the light to this world of podcasting and all this stuff. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good avenue for me. I'm a bricklayer by day, but I'm a sports enthusiast by night. So to be able to do this kind of stuff and have the kind of fans come in and watch. No, I don't get the thousands of lovely live listeners like you do, but
Ain't that the fucking truth?
I appreciate every single one of you, and I know you two are one of the few. So I appreciate you guys. I love you, and I appreciate you guys always keeping me honest. You always got to keep me honest. Somebody does.
Well, we were happy to have you back. You dropped us like a bad habit, but we invited you back on our show.
Listen, you're too he's
He
too
always
busy.
is
Phil's
harder
too busy
than
for
I
me.
am. See?
No,
You always
Phil's too
blame me
busy
for
for
being
me. I blame Phil because he's too busy, man. He's crazy. I've been seeing you hustling, Phil, man. You're like 24/7.
I gotta hustle for the network.
Hey,
man.
I got
We're
a front
blowing
row
up.
seat. I had a front row seat watching you do your work every single day. I was once on Bears Hour Live as the moderator. Thank you very much. And
Claudio.
to see the evolution of this show and what you guys do, I'm always going to be proud of
Listen,
what
Brad, maybe you need to give me some tips, bro, because I don't know how I'm doing
Claudio,
it. Shane doesn't think I'm doing a good job. I don't know. What do you
Claudio,
think?
listen.
What do you think?
Shane
I
just
could give you a million.
I did.
I
He's
know.
like,
I'm
you're
joking.
much better than Bragg's ever was before the
I
show.
could give you a million. I could give you a million tips, Claudio, but none of them will help. You're screwed with these two guys. You just got to be able
I don't know,
to
but
roll with
listen,
the
from an
punches.
outsider, it's great to have you on, man. You three were great together. You guys know your shit, so.
I don't know.
Just
I don't
listening
know
in,
shit.
Yeah. It's getting dark over there, huh?
Dark.
Oh, you got rid of. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, they want to get rid of me. I got to get out of here too.
No, we wanted to remove Claudio. Greg, thank you for coming on. Follow Greg. Brags in the Stands. Great dude. We always love him. We give him shit. He was right. But at the end of the day, that's the Shane and Phil way. P.S. We love you. So there you go. P.S. Get it? Phil, Shane. We love you, Greg. Follow Greg. Have some fun with him. This is going to be a rough season, and I can guarantee that no one's going to break it down like we are here, keeping it 100. Hopefully that continues, and we bring you on keeping it 100, just like we did today on Bears Hour Live, your first stomping ground. So thank you for coming on. Totally have a safe ride back. We'll talk to you tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Hopefully the Bears can figure it out, but it's tough because you almost get to a point where you're not even sure if you want to root for them to win. Honestly, that sounds so terrible to say as a Bears fan.
It does.
But you get to that
NFL mediocrity is the worst place to be.
So all we have to do is drown our sorrows here. So I appreciate you letting me have a little therapy session after the game. It's a beautiful 80-degree night in Tennessee, so I'm going to enjoy the last few minutes before I hit the road.
It
Love you guys.
went from birds to crickets, just like the Matt Nagy offensive philosophy.
Well, I heard the lights went out on his press conference, so
It looked like it was only
It started in the dark. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm in the dark now too. So,
well,
all right,
much love
gentlemen,
to
enjoy
you.
the rest of your post game show, and shout out to everybody in the chat. I miss the chat. You guys will always be my chat, but Claudio, you got to hold it down and make sure those guys are keeping honest in the chat. Don't be letting them get out of hand in there. What is this guy saying, Boss Hawk? I had some guy named Buffalo Butt tweeting at me today. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, he's on Twitter. Yep.
Yeah, he's
All
a
right,
big
guys.
fan
Have a
of you,
good
Greg. He loves giraffe.
All right, we love you, man. Drive safe.
Be safe. Greg Bragg.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
One weed smoker replaced by another. That's how we roll here. Look at this guy.
Wait, can I come on here for a second? Am I bringing somebody on? Am I bringing somebody on here from the chat? You guys want me to bring somebody on?
Well,
or we don't have time.
Shane already said, "Listen, Phil, this is a disgrace. How could we go?"
Well, there's one guy. One guy is saying he wants to come on.
I had a few people reach out to me in the DMs. I think we bring one guy on.
Yeah, we can do
5
one.
minutes. Give us one.
Well,
Claude, set that up.
This guy right here.
Send
I'll
him the
put him
link.
up there. This guy, he's saying, I'm ready, I'm hyped, I'm
All
coming
right,
with the
as long as he's
fire.
got hype, we're gonna get him.
So
bring
Shane,
him on, get him ready.
Where is he located?
He's on YouTube right now. I don't know. I'm.
Oh, then you're supposed to be responsible for communicating with him, Claudio. See what?
I don't
Right
know
when
how to-
Greg was here.
Shane has the link to send him. I don't have the link to send him. So
Yeah, I know, but where am I sending it? I can't send it to YouTube.
Well, it's I don't know. You got to figure this guy out. Here.
Go
Let's see.
City, say it loud. Go City, say it loud. Go City, say it loud.
Go City. Go to Twitter. Hopefully, you have a Twitter account.
Twitter
to @TTNL Network, and send me a DM real quick, and we'll send you the link. You have it is 6:07. You have until 6:10 p.m. East
You're
to
giving
do
him
that.
3
Not
minutes.
a second longer.
Fucking
All right.
3 minutes. I also
did
had
my
a
job.
guy, Kevin Wood, reaching out to me. I could bring him on if he can't. I know we have great fans. I love you guys. I want to get someone on here. I know a lot of you want to jump on and vent.
Well, and Phil, we can announce to these guys. I have some time off coming up this week. I know you're gonna be home, and we're gonna do. You guys are gonna see some different things coming up. Hopefully this week that are gonna be, let's just say, unscheduled. Where Phil and Shane are gonna be popping up, and maybe it'll include some people within the chat room where we will get you on and chop it up a little bit and let you guys voice your frustrations with this organization, with this coaching staff. And just to move off of that, Phil, a little bit, we've well, that too, but we've railroaded on this organization and coaching staff. Listen, 4th down and you get back-to-back penalty. This is to where Parkin's point, where he does have a little bit of a point. You can't fucking false start Arlington Hambright. You can't false start Jimmy Graham. You guys, you can't. There's got to be, there's got to be player accountability in here too. These guys can't make a bad situation worse.
Parkins
Right?
is wrong because that's the coach.
Oh no, I get it, Phil. But still, at some point, some of these guys have to be held accountable because Jimmy Graham.
Who's holding him accountable? Nobody.
No. That's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about by us. We're talking about just the coaching staff, just the media. Right. No, I get you.
Listen, Jimmy Graham, you can't do it. You're a fucking veteran. You're running out of bounds. You're doing this shit. The reality is, Hambright coming in off the fucking bench, it goes back to keeping it simple. The opposite, just in that conversation with Potash, calling out the coach, that's midweek. Well, we had a long practice. You weren't prepared. Those players are a reflection of you. And he did not say that one time in his candlelight dinner fucking presser. He didn't say, this is disgraceful. This is on me. That's never going to fucking happen again on my watch. None of that occurs. So, yes, listen, on this network, is that your groceries shopping?
Yeah, it's
okay. I was like, is
next
it
room
mine?
over. No,
Anyway,
that's
the
me.
reality is,
it's not me, but it's my house. Yeah.
there you go. The reality is, at some point, you got to come to this extension of you are me and I am you. And if you have this be you mentality, then that whole holding people accountable never will happen. But coach, you told me to be me. I was being me. I was throwing punches. I was jumping off sides. I was doing this. All of this stuff, totally agree. The comeback, the whole thing gets thrown and is used in manipulative ways. At the end of the day, on a show where you react to the fucking game that you just saw, the head coach is the story. Everything else is secondary. Nick Foles sucked, no doubt. The offensive line sucked. They can't run, block. And then at some point, everybody and their brother knows that the defense is going to make a mistake or they're going to make a play and they're going to get you in the game. Whatever the case is with this team, it's always dependent upon the defense. And that's the issue. And that really is. I'm going to break down the tape and show you every fucking mistake along the offensive line. It's going to be disgusting. I already know how much time and energy I put into cutting this shit up. And if you aren't a member of the Patreon, please head over right there, thetapeneverlies.com. Sign up for patronage. Last week, 43 minutes of football coaching and analysis. You're getting that there. What Shane's alluding to this week with this team and everything going on, obviously, you're going to have Keeping It at 100 on Wednesday. JJ Stankovitz from NBC Sports Chicago is going to come on, and he's going to talk about, we're going to talk about holding this coach, holding this team accountable, and really pushing the envelope. I'm trying to get JJ fired. That's my goal on Wednesday night. Also, pay attention, Patreon, going live on Patreon. You saw us at halftime. Be prepared this week. We're going to be going live, Q&A, video breakdown, talking about some of these big moments in the game. So just be ready. That's the business side. Also, real quick, this applies for this show as well. Every show also becomes a podcast. So the live shows become a podcast, and this is where you can listen to that every week.
Keeping It 100 can be found on all podcast streaming apps: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Overcast, Castbox, Deezer, and finally, officially on Google Music and Podcasts. It's Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shane.
Oh, yeah. Keeping It 100, Shy City Sports, Bears Hour Live. Also, if you're a truck driver, you can't watch it, you can listen to the whole show. Today we had Greg Braggs from Braggs in the Stands jumping on. He was live at the game. Obviously, not much to really embrace and talk about live at the game. He had critical mistakes, errors all around, and everything that you saw going on with this football team happen. Now, every week on this show, we always do this. And apparently Claudio, the producer, and Shane, the smartest man, got this man ready. He's ready for this. We do it like this.
It's 100 Crew Hot Takes. Phil and Shane bringing on a fan to talk Bears and what just happened in the Bears game each and every week. You have to have hype.
Phil's always telling me to hype.
You can't be flat. So be ready, be prepared, and bring your passion.
I had hype coming out of my ass.
It's 100 Crew Hot Takes. Hashtag Spencer Strong.
Those are big time fucking.
Always Spencer Strong. Always. Bears Hour Live. Gotta bring that passion. Here we
What's
go.
going on?
There he is.
Oh, this guy's full of energy. What's up, Andre?
What's going on, brothers?
There he is.
And you know
What's
what?
going on with you?
And it's about goddamn time. You know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and say this. I'm gonna put this out here. I've been in podcasting for at least about a year and a half now, and I've been a Bears fan. I'm born and raised Bellwood, Illinois. I'm out here in Arizona though. I'm from Bellwood, Illinois, born and raised Bears fan. And you guys are a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
Speak it. Speak it.
And the realest shit I ever heard when it comes to not only being a passionate Bears fan, but actually paying attention to detail when it comes to football, period, across the board.
Hey, when you got your head coach up there saying that details matter, the smallest things matter, we live by that here. Our head coach does not, but we do.
My football knowledge does not compare up to y'all. My football career ended in my high school days, but I follow the game and I love it. I'm a person that's been in a locker room. I wrestled. I'm from football. I went to Proviso West.
Nice.
I wrestled, played football, and ran track. I did my fucking thing. You know what? Life is life. That is what it is. But let's get down to this. Okay. I you know what? As much as I'm gonna get into the offense, and as disgusting as much as I threw up in my mouth watching this game, I still have to hold the defense a little bit accountable. I understand. Sure. I understand Chuck Picano being. I get it. We need to hold. Can we tackle? Did we just
our safeties can't? Safety.
Just tackling, just completely go out the game.
Yeah.
I get it. You want to make the big play. It is on our defense. We have to understand, people of Chicago, all you fans that are still fans, and I'm glad you are still fans. It's the tackling.
Yes.
But
you're bringing the hype. You're bringing the heat.
I subtract that though because the defense is doing exactly what they can. I'm gonna go back to you and Leno. We're gonna go back to hold on. What play was that when Leno and Jimmy Graham both blew the?
They're sitting there watching. They're looking back. They're looking back at the play.
At each other. Yeah. Like what? Like hold on. Was I supposed to block him or was you supposed to block him?
Which way did he go? Which way did he go?
Where did he go? Which way did he go? It's
and coach and Phil. Look, I'm gonna let you go ahead, but
go ahead.
To your word, what you said. The team is a reflection of the coach, 100%. And I'm gonna go back to because I'm a defensive guy. I know you are an offensive guy, and I've learned a lot from watching you. Okay, but I'm a defensive guy. The effort that Eddie Jackson,
terrible,
on that touchdown, I get it. He caught the ball. A great defense by Buster Screen. He did what he can. Great, Ryan Tannehill. We got to give him credit. He put the ball where he's supposed to be.
Dude, you're right. Eddie's got to come across.
But still, I don't give a damn if he don't get the touchdown, even if he's at the 2.
Yeah.
Make the effort to get him out of bounds.
Absolutely.
Do something.
Yeah.
You saw him jogging for a little bit. No, if your money is speaking for you, Eddie Jackson, you don't need to be a Chicago Bear.
It's true, man. He made way too many business decisions today. He did. He was 6'4", 260, and he's going up top on Derrick Henry of all people. I'm like, what are you doing?
Disgusting.
The play you're talking about. You're
and Shane, I've been watching all day. You said I said it earlier. I had my Bears stuff on. I know what.
Me too, man.
Look, let me tell you this. Look, I have a flask.
Andre.
Uh-oh.
You see this?
Yeah.
Sipping that strong stuff.
No. I have not filled this flask until the Bears had made the playoffs.
What year did you buy it?
I've had it for a few years now.
Playoffs?
I'm going to take this flask and shove it up Matt Nagy's ass. That's how mad I am at this dude.
We're going to have to review the tape on that, Andre.
We're going to go back to the play calling of Matt Nagy. I'm not even going to go to the LA Rams game where 8 times we ran it right to
Aaron Donald.
Yeah. My dad was on that show. I don't know.
I know.
And he's
I'm with you fellas every time.
Why would he run at Aaron Donald?
Wait a minute. As much as we know how Khalil Mack is, and you know what, he's deserved so much of attention. He sits at look. I'm a defensive player. I was a defensive player. Like I said, but I'm not going to challenge anybody's football knowledge. But I know what I know when I watch football. Okay. You don't run into the number 1 defensive player in the NFL 8 times straight to him.
I agree with you. It's unbelievable how many baffling moments, especially when
Matt Nagy. Matt, hold on. I'm gonna tell you
yourself as the offensive genius.
My friend. Hey, you know what? Hey, you basically family in this fucking house. That is it.
That's right.
Okay. Look.
You're 100.
Matt Nagy should be fired immediately. Okay. This is it. And or turn the play calling over to whoever the hell needs a Glazer, whatever the hell.
Laser, yep.
Laser.
Excuse me. Let me ask you this, Andre.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me finish.
Tell him to shut up, Andre. Yes. I've been waiting for 6 years for that.
And if they don't, they do not make the playoffs, Pace has to go as well.
Everybody.
On top of that.
Now.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question.
Absolutely.
If the car has an issue with the seatbelt, do we recall the car, or we just nope? Let's pray that these innocent people don't get into a car accident. It's not gonna fucking change with Matt Nagy. So to your point, you fire that and fix it.
Get it out the way.
Get it out the way.
Get it out the way.
Agree. Chicago, we're worried about the fucking cap. Shut the fuck. They got billions of dollars. You could pay another coach $20 million. Jim Harbaugh gets fired. Bring him in here for an interview.
How worse can it get? Do you really want me to answer that question right now?
It's unbelievable.
How worse? How worse can it get?
You getting in trouble right now?
Do you really want me to answer that question right now? No, my girl's sitting over here, and she's
she pissed too. Put her on cam. Put her on cam.
She pissed too. Hey, she pissed too. Tell her.
Preach it.
Preach.
Hey, she pissed too. All the Bears shit.
Andre, you're getting a lot of comments in the chat room. Everybody thought you did real good on Saturday Night Live last night.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. Hey, you know what? I've been dying to get on the show and talk to you fellas, because you guys are the best. Look, I've been I ain't.
We're looking for a new barber. Can you cut hair?
I can't. Hell no, I can't cut no goddamn hair.
Well, neither can Claudio, so you're perfect fit.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. For real, can I get serious with you?
No,
yeah.
I'm out here in Arizona. I moved out here when I was 30. Born and raised in Bill. Look, let me tell you this. I got to listen to these damn Cardinals fans with their Kyler Murray and all. Do you understand what the things I have to listen to? As I do my sports podcast, Go City, Say It Loud. Go City, Say It Loud Sports. Y'all can check me out. Link me up on Facebook. Like I right about now, I've been talking a lot of sports politics. I don't have a co-host that can actually interject with me on sports, because half the people don't know what the hell they fucking talking about.
If you want a co-host that won't shut the fuck up, I can hook you up with Phil. I'm kidding.
I know what, I would love it, but he can hit my inbox. We'll talk about that
with you.
Hey, know what?
We have my word. After you came on here and lit up the fucking house like a Matt Nagy can't even light up a candle. But
you know what? I don't want to take up too much of your time, guys.
But
I know you guys gotta go.
I know we're coming off a loss and we're not supposed to do this, but I have a feeling that Andre is willing to dance.
Oh, you damn right.
You can't give him a victory. We didn't even.
He's all hyped.
Hold on, wait a minute. I got a dance for you. This is the dance.
Go ahead. Exactly. It's the head down dance.
You see. I've been sending the smacks across the damn head, across the board. Are you kidding me?
I only can imagine what you're dealing with out there.
And this is the problem. This is when you guys are talking exactly what you're talking. They need to hire football people and understand the passion of being a football fan, not only as a player, but as a fan, as somebody who knows who's talking about what the fuck they're talking about. And that's what the problem is. We are a football team.
That's where it starts, man.
We are a football city. We are a football city.
Exactly. Bears.
We are blue collar. Right? Get your nails dirty. Get down. We get the job done. Ain't no goddamn excuses. Do your job. If you're not good at your job, you have to go.
It's Chicago, man. As good as the Bulls were during MJ's years, this is still a Bears town. And when they win, it's just different. But this team has been so wildly inconsistent, like you just said, Andre. It starts up at the top. When you have a guy that's clicking his calculator all day, every day, running this franchise, you're never going to be consistent at anything other than making money, which is great. I get it. When you're a $1 billion corporation, you want to make the money. I understand it. But this is the Chicago Bears, and they have one good year, and then they're inconsistent and rebuilding for the next 6 or 7.
And we go through the same thing with the Bulls. See, the thing is, though, we are Chicago. We are a major city. We want people to come here.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. This is the product that you put out there for the people. And Phil is absolutely right. They're just sitting out there rolled up in their Bentleys and here's my check and I'll take it as it is. That's complete. That is not the culture of the city that we come from.
Exactly.
Just as this presidential election just went, the same as should do for the Chicago Bears right about now.
Yeah, it's got to matter, man. If it doesn't matter up top, it's not going to matter down below. And the guys down below are the ones doing all the fucking work. And you go ahead.
What Max Kellerman said on First Take: a fish rots from the head down.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's a good way to put it.
And it's
this. You come on here with passion.
Absolutely.
I talk about you got to have the hype. You got to have passion. That's what I bring to the table. Shane knows it. We have had some great guests come on here and bring it. Really, you brought the fucking Chicago.
You guys are the best.
Well,
and like I said, and you say these things like, oh, if you don't like it, you can go. Who else are you fucking watching?
They watch these other. I don't know. I get fired up.
I don't even know who the fuck are these guys. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
I need Ace to pull that because that is great. That's the exact thing. I can't thank you enough, man. I love y'all, man. You reach out to me right on.
Absolutely,
Instagram.
man.
This is Andre, bro. We'll promote. We're all about. I always say this. There's plenty of room for everybody that keeps it 100. If you keep it 100,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna fucking promote you because I'm not competing with Andre or Sean Sierra.
Absolutely not.
Ivan or whoever else or anybody that keeps it real and wants change. The only way to change is to rise up and be competitive against it.
And you know what? And before I go, I want to show some love.
Go ahead.
If you ain't look as a Bears fan, and I'm gonna repost this on my page, I'll make sure I do. I don't care. The love is the love. Yes. Y'all family in this house. Okay. If you're a true Bears fan, if you're a fan of football, just forget about it. Because I do my podcast, I do it on all teams, but Bears is my home, and this is where I come to. If you guys want to learn something, this is where you need to be because the tape never lies, and you better keep it 100.
Look at you. Hopefully, my boy Jeremy,
Closing
the
it.
bouncer's cutting, clipping that because that was so well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. And you have my word. And if you want Shane to come on so he could just watch me talk the whole time,
I'm gonna be invited. Hey, I need to get Shane. I need to get Shane.
Yes,
because I got you as a friend, but I ain't got Shane.
I just followed you. I just followed you, bro.
Okay, because I'm gonna be talking shit the entire week, and we go and next. What's the next game? What we got next?
Monday night, right?
Monday night. Yeah, I'm probably be at work, but
we'll be live.
I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna be watching.
I will shout you out, and I'm sure you'll make an appearance on this.
Oh,
week,
absolutely.
Keeping it 100. I don't discriminate. I look for people that have passion. I keep it 100. I call out every fucking person that has a motivation to twist the truth. And the reality is, I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, Hispanic, fucking whatever, Guatemalan, Jamaican. I love everybody that has passion for football, wants the truth, and knows beyond a shadow of a doubt. I'm going to share this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to preach this to everybody I know. The tape never lies. And that's where the root and the sauce comes from. And look at you. I'm gonna shout out your girlfriend. What's her name?
Linnell Pruitt.
Linnell Pruitt.
Big Red.
Linnell Pruitt. Thank you for letting my boy Andre come on the show. I know you've been. Now I know who you are. The face. I've seen you in the DMs and the texts and the tweets.
Oh, you know, I've been yelling, shouting, like, Phil, please put me in.
There you go.
Oh, I've been mad.
Coach a good coach knows when to put the game changer in the game. You know your playmakers. Andre, you brought it. I can't thank you enough. I don't know a better way to wrap up this show than to have a guest like you close it out. I really thought Greg Braggs brought it today. I was proud of him. And then you came and made him look like a backup offensive tackle beat across his face.
He's not Leno. He's not Leno.
No.
He's not Leno. We're not gonna do that.
Leno.
Okay. We're gonna be fair. Okay. Leno. Walrus.
The walrus.
Oh my God. Hey man, and you know what? I'm so glad. It was a privilege to actually speak to you guys and talk to you live. And I've been sitting here and I've been itching to get online with you guys, and I really appreciate it, man. And y'all have a great weekend. Have a great week. Hopefully, Matt Nagy takes his head out of his ass.
Yeah.
And passes. And
that's a big ask, but we're all hoping, man.
and
Playoffs.
I'll talk to you guys soon, man. Hey Shane, make sure you inbox me, man.
I did.
And Phil, you too.
Yeah,
right,
we got you, man. Thanks, Andre, man.
Hey, y'all have a great Sunday, brother.
You have my word. We will come on.
I will talk to you soon, and put me down as a regular. And I'm look when my situation gets right, I will be a member, and I will give you my member number.
You go. You got to talk to the girlfriend. Say, listen, Netflix is not that important. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Oh no, she ain't like that. She ain't like that. She throwing the football. Well, it's about the game, baby.
All right.
She with us. Yes. You heard her? Yes.
Can she play left tackle?
Huh?
Can she play left tackle?
You know what? I probably better than Leno.
She's got heart. She got more heart than Leno. I guarantee you. Right? Exactly.
I see. She's fought men before. I see
that. We have to bring you back on and with your girl on Keeping It 100. It'll be
absolutely,
fun.
man.
Hey, man, there you
I'm
go.
here, especially every weekend. I'm here. Sunday.
Yes.
I'm here through the week. You know, I'm a blue collar dude. Of course,
Hey, you gotta be.
Illinois they got that 20 from us in Illinois. You already know that was all that mattered.
Pay for your patronage right here. Look at him.
Dustin Combs. I will pay Andre's Patreon.
So man, I appreciate it, brother. Hey, I'm gonna definitely reach out to you, man. Hit my inbox. I mean, Andre Witt, man.
Andre Witt brought the wit, but more so the passion and pride.
That could be a segment because I'll be with it.
Are we with it? We'll bring you on. Look at that. Great mind. Thank you so much.
Hey, man. Hey, look forward to talking to you. I love you both, man. Y'all brothers be safe, man. And shout out to both of y'all families and everybody. Everybody just have a great weekend.
Thanks, Andre.
Wow. Whoops. Sorry. Wow. What a guest.
You brought the hype.
I did a good job, huh? I picked a good guy.
Claudio, look, he fixed his hat.
Look at that. I did my job, Shane. Did I do my job?
You did good, Claude.
Thank you.
I tried to replace. You're lucky he couldn't cut hair though.
Listen. I tried to bring the hype. I tried to bring it, but these guys, some of these guys, they got it, man. They got the hype, man. You know, these guys are good.
It was
because we are going to address your situation with your cut it out. Your no hype, Claudio. Phil said it to me. I'm like.
He didn't even wait. Did you watch the whole video? The video was fine. It was just the open that. Dude, you know how tired I was? I did like 25 cuts that day. I'm like, dude, I was fucking falling asleep.
Yeah, we'll save it for Wednesday.
So it's not on Patreon no more? You said they can't find it on there?
Well, they can't see it. You can address that on.
Yeah, well, see the way that Patreon works. So you're using NFL. You're using NFL clips like live footage of the game. So they NFL actually embeds a code that as soon as that goes on someplace, they cut it, but it's only on mobile devices. So if you go to Patreon and go to watch that, if you're on your phone or on an iPad, you can't watch it.
You have
but if you have to do it on your desktop or anything like that.
So what if you just post it right to YouTube? Can they just watch it right off of YouTube?
Yeah, we could put we could
post it this week. We gave
Yeah.
it to the Patreons first to break your balls. Because
Yeah.
that's
If
what
anybody's heard Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, that's what it sounded like.
Like,
Hello,
what is this?
Pooh.
Hello, 100.
I was getting them ready. I was getting them in the mood.
Listen, as Andre brought it, if you want to be a Patreon, I know hopefully that dude was keeping it real with Andre and paid for his subscription until he is ready before December 31st. Get into the Patreon, become a charter member here on www.thetapeneverlies.com. You'll be locked in for the lifetime at $7 because next season, I can assure you, this show and a few others are going to be behind the Patreon wall. And you're going to want to get in while the getting is good, because what we have planned, not only coming up as we've learned this patronage app and all this other shit that we've had to like find ways around and maneuver. I felt like David Montgomery with this offensive line with this stuff. We're going to get it to the extent where we are going to be proud of it, and that's where we're going. In the off-season draft coverage, free agency is going to be like nothing else, as well as the live show. So go over there. I did that part, Shane, right there. www.thetapeneverlies.com. There's 428 or so strong. It might be up more now. Who knows? But the reality is we're here live. I really want to thank Greg Braggs Jr. for coming on the show with us and getting some laughs with him. It's always an adventure. I want to thank Claudio for producing, helping out, doing a great job there. And I also want to thank Andre Witt, who brought the hype. We were going to end the show a little earlier, then Andre came on and totally took the house down, Shane. The club reopened. Granted, you want it to be Club Dub, but Andre brought it and really, as you could see right there, loved it. And we feel blessed when you have fans like that. And I know Steve right here, Nageshi, he wanted to get in. A bunch of other people really want to get in. And I could promise you, we are going to do shows strictly with you, the fans. Patreon members, be ready, because we're going to be having a fun show. When we reach 500, Shane had talked about this, but I'm going to redouble down to give you a clarity. When we reach 500 Patreon members, we are going to take out this big bingo ball, and we're going to put 500 names in it, and we're going to go through, and we're going to pull out 10 or 12 of those names, and every one of you, like Andre, is going to come on here and talk about the game, the Bears, the draft, free agency, and all of that stuff. So that's where we're at. That's what we're going to be doing. I know we had to block some petty ass troll bitch. I thought I see it pop up. We had to block someone.
I want to come in and address something in the chat.
Okay,
there's been numerous people bringing up politics, and we don't
ahead.
need that.
Claudio.
We don't want it either way. It doesn't matter what we think, what I think, what Phil thinks.
We're an escape from that.
Yes,
here.
exactly.
we're not
This is about football, Bears, and football, NFL, that world. Keep the politics out. I don't want to have to put you guys in timeout. I keep doing it. So just putting it out there so you all hear it. All right, because we don't need none of that. All right.
Perfectly timed. Claudio coming in, setting the tone. That's what a coach. Hold the fans accountable. Hold the chat room accountable. Hold everybody accountable. And Jeff, thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate all of you. And I appreciate Claudio doing that. There's no fun. This isn't about politics. I'm an independent voter. I don't give this is about football. My politics are about the Chicago Bears. How are we going to get this right? Why are we calling this stuff out? I'm not coming from a fan's place. I'm coming from a studied, analytical place. These fucking media guys could try to put a title on Shane and me, But the reality is, you guys know the truth. The cream rises to the top, Joe Paterno would always say. And he's right. The reality is, we are breaking down this team with the tape, not a stat. Shane showed me some bullshit at stats this week from PFF and others trying to manipulate a Matt Nagy excuse. Okay? If something's whispering in the dark, do you go down the hall to see what it is? Some people do. They end up dying first. Me, I take a little bit more of an active approach. I set up a camera so I could see what the fuck might be happening at night. That's the reality of what we're doing. Check the tape. It's never going to lie. Geary Williams, yes, you could get a shout out. So many of you deserve shout outs. It's been a long show, 2 hours and 29 minutes. Shane, give me your final thoughts before we go. I'll end with mine, and then we'll say goodnight.
I never want to end it on a negative note, Phil, but I just, you know me and my gut feels, and we talk about stuff like this all the time. I just think that this is trending in the wrong direction because you have, end of the day, you can rely on the defense to keep you in games, but this is the 2020 NFL. Everything is set up to fucking score. The Bears can't do it. They just can't. They have no rhyme or no reason. They have no philosophy. They have no concrete base on offense. And I know it starts with an offensive line. But at the end of the day, if you are an offensive guru or a genius, you still can make things happen with what you have out there. Phil, we bring it up all the time. Riley Ridley, Allen Robinson, Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham. These guys aren't just run-of-the-mill players that don't have a future or a career in this league.
Right.
Run fucking slant passes. That's the easiest way to help out your offensive line. Go quick game. And it's little things like that can help you out a whole bunch. Matt Nagy just refuses to do it for whatever reason. And it's going to be interesting because this team has enough talent to come out, and they do have enough talent to put one on Minnesota. The way that this is trending, I just don't have a whole lot of confidence that that's going to happen because when the Bears had a chance to put their foot down on New Orleans' neck, up 13-3, they couldn't do it. They got passive, they fell apart, and they blew the game. Today, Tennessee's not a great football team. Let's be honest, they're not. They have major flaws, and this Chicago Bears team, at the end of the day, as bad as they played, still had a chance at the, right up until the onside kick. So stick with us here. We're gonna have a big week coming up. Tape Never Lies Network. Phil's gonna have some time off. I'm gonna have some time off. We're gonna bring some special things to you guys, some pop-up shows. It may not be at night. It may be during the day. We're not going to announce times. We're just going to pop up when we pop up. The Patreon members, those, if you can't watch it live, they will be available to you on Patreon. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Phil and I appreciate it, and we want to keep things rolling. This is our business, and we are going to be people that reinvest into this business to improve the quality, to improve everything that we do moving forward. And we cannot do it without the loyalty and just the loyalty from people like you, people like Andre coming on here and bringing the passion and
speaking it.
Yeah, and speaking it. So thank you so much, and I think that's a perfect place to end it, Phil. And we'll see everybody this week coming up.
Well, I had to say my final thoughts.
I thought you just did. You were going on.
I said you.
All right. I thought you were letting me close it out. All right, go ahead, man.
I said then I'll end with mine.
There you go.
If you want to cut me off, I'll keep it short. I'll keep it simple, stupid. Listen, at the end of the day, truthfully, we can't thank you guys enough. Regular fans, if you're in dire situations going through what we're doing in America with everything going on, the voting and the COVID, and just life in itself, we understand. I thank you for watching and tuning in. Shane and I put a lot of work in this network that's right on our channels for free. We get it. But we also put a lot of work in on the other side to make this product even better and to help support our families as well. So if you enjoy this and you want more, please follow the link below here and become a charter member and really truly appreciate that. In regards to this game, this show, this network, this team, it's hard. But with you guys as fans and as people that come here to watch and be a part of a fanatical understanding of truth about this game of football, as well as this team, the Chicago Bears, I can't thank you enough. I'm so proud to be partners with this guy here on the screen. I know he's working the tweets and all that other stuff, and I'm proud of what we're doing out here. Couldn't have been a better therapeutic place after that misery that we saw. Stephen King couldn't write that story. It was so bad. But to come here and be with Andre, be with Greg, be with this chat room like Chuck and Lydia and Claudio and AJ and Dustin Combs, who's helping out, Laughing Ace, Bullet, Matt Byer, all these people, Logan, all of those people. You guys make it therapeutic and better. So I just wanted to thank you all for jumping on and being a part of the live show. AJ Smith, I've seen you in there all week, all today, being a big part of it. Obviously, Chris Jackal, who helped build the Draft Doctor All 22 studios, the DDP studios in the back. Thank you all. Shane, great job tonight. Claudio, great job working the boards and the comments. And we'll end it like we always do on the BHL, Bears Hour Live, after every game. So Monday night we'll be back here. Wednesday night, keep it at 100. Shane's already told you. JJ Stankovitz will be joining us. That should be a great show, talking a lot about the Bears, Nagy, and the media's inability to confront him on the truth. You know we're going to keep it 100 with him. We love him, but we're going to keep it 100.
Thank you for watching Bears Hour Live, the best post-Bears game show on the planet, on the Tape Never Lies Network.